Hey, Viking Pirates. Hello, folks. Nice to have you with us here. We're going to jump into some Noita and mess around a little bit. I've got a couple of specific plans, things I want to try and accomplish today. One of them is I think I figured out what to do with that portal spell we found. So we're going to try and mess around with that today for sure. And other than that, we will have to find out. I think there might be some other things I want to go try and mess around with as well, but we'll see how far we get, whether or not the game is on our side or not. So, let's jump in here into a new game and see what's what. Hey, thanks for the well wishes, Miss Mephibosheth. Oh, having a hard time with that name today. Miss Mephibosheth. But enjoy your day too. And hey, Velcro. Hey, Afro Bushido. Good to see everybody. How many Steves? Yeah, well, I did fight the upgraded Steve off stream recently, so that was an interesting experience. There are a lot of nasty fellas that I have uncovered in some recent attempts here. One of my goals recently was trying to climb the tower, and I had another attempt at doing that recently, and there were some crazy enemies in there that I have never seen. Oh yeah, there's a Mega Steve. Steve is a problem, but there is a much worse Steve. Just waiting for us to find him. So, we will see. We may wind up fighting one of those again soon too, if we can get some decent wands and things going to make it viable. But we will get into that as we go. I believe the community usually calls the upgraded Steve Scott, because his in-game name is Skoude. S-K-O-U-D-E. So, we will see. We will see if we can find Scott. For now, though, we gotta get started. Oh, improve wands. Nice. I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference long-term for this run, because we don't have any actually good wands yet that we would want to be holding on to. But hey, a bit of extra upgrades never goes astray. Can we get some of the gold out of these guys, though? Because all the acid guy gold is going to be sitting at the bottom here. It may, in fact, have already dissolved. Acid is dangerous to mess around with there. It's a Finnish game. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of the enemies have very descriptive names if you know what the name means in the original language. A lot of the enemies seem very fantastically named, but it's literally just a description of what they are or what they do. So, there are a lot of guys in this little hallway. Ow. Unfortunately, we are a little weak still without having a decent weapon on hand. A lot of potions lying around here too. It looks like there might be an alchemy lab in there. There's these rooms that can spawn randomly that basically have a dozen different potions in them of all different types. And that would explain why there's a bunch of random potion juice out here, if some of them have started breaking already. Ah, yeah. There's a fire wizard in there who has probably broken most of those shelves by igniting them with his own head. So, if we come in here now... Yeah, we have one side of the set of shelves here. What do we have? Levitation and Acceleration, I like those. I already have Acceleration, I believe. Yeah. So now we can make Hastium if we want to go fast. What's in here? Polymorphine, whiskey, concentrated mana, and gunpowder. Flamuxium and unstable teleportation. Well, let's grab the teleportation. I want to test something with that. I don't know if unstable will work, but I imagine it will. If we can make it to far enough into the run to make that viable, we'll find out. But, the main problem, and the main thing I may want to go back there for, is just to grab a bottle we can empty out, so that we can actually get... Is this wand shooting faster all of a sudden? Feels like it is, but I feel like it was upgraded a little bit ago. I don't know why it's suddenly faster now. We want to dump one of these potions out, though, so we can fill it up with water. Because right now we have a bunch of weird chemicals, and ones that are probably not very good for us to be trying to put fires out with. So let's just dump all the worm pheromone out of this, and then we can probably try and refill it with water soon, so we don't wind up burning to death. Okay. Let's keep things rolling here. I'm taking a lot of damage early, which is not good. Poison Trail is also kind of dangerous for us. We're gonna wind up doing a lot of self-damage if we're not careful. It does give us a bit of extra area denial, but not setting ourselves up to die from poison damage is kind of a big deal. I'm trying to shove this stuff out of the way, rather than just blow it up, because we only have 3 bombs, but it doesn't seem to want to be kicked. Alright. We may be able to go through the wall up here by using the explosives that are already in place. I don't think it's going to be quite big enough, but we can try. I don't think I can get it right against the wall either, because it really wants to roll away. There we go, that might do it. Nice. Oh, there are a lot of friends in there. Hello. Don't like that much. We are a little bit vulnerable to the acid and lava that will be filling that room. But there we go. Unfortunately, we lose all that gold, which is sad. And we can't really go through there to get it, because there's still acid pouring out of everything. I would love to go pick up all that money, but that's just not in the cards right now. Alright. If we can get up on the left-hand side here, though, we may be able to actually access more of the stage, which would be great. We're looking for any useful wands. We don't have any valid abilities yet, which is a real problem. No useful spells. Any health upgrades would be real nice, and a little bit more gold will also go a long way for us here. There are a lot of early game spells we can find in the first area that'll make our run more likely to succeed, so if we can find any of those, that would be real nice. So far, though, the game doesn't seem to want to cooperate with us. Alright. What else can we find around here? We can find our way through, although I don't think I actually fit in there, which is a little bit annoying. Further west, but we know eventually we're going to come to a wall over here, so we can't just keep going this way indefinitely. We don't have a good means to traverse the dark room yet, or any chance of surviving the stuff on the other side. One of the things that I had recently that made for a very fun run was I had a wand with an always cast matter eater on it, and I attached that to a drill. And as a result, we could just drill through literally everything instantly. And it was a very fun wand to use. Got a lot of good exploring value out of that one. So if we can manage to make something like that happen again, that would be very fun, but we'll see if it actually happens. Getting a specific always cast is not very easy. Oh, every enemy is accelerated now. That may be a problem. Also, that's a vial of toxic sludge, so let's try not to blow that up. It is surprisingly difficult to hit them when they're moving around so fast. Nice of them to stand still like that for us, though. Alright. More toxic sludge potions. There are a lot of potions around here, but there's not a lot of anything else. Look at the moves on that guy. He's got places to... He's got places to be. Doesn't know if he knows how to stand in them, but he knows he wants to keep moving. Man, this is weirdly... nothing of interest to be found. We've gone all the way to the western wall. We haven't found a single spell. Not one pick-upable wand. I don't mind the potions, like that is a nice little benefit for us, but it's weird. Unfortunately, we're also getting stuck on some of these little pixels here, so I can't get back down. Hey, Dallin. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Okay. Looks like there's nothing over there. That's just the wall. There was a wand here, so someone is carrying it. Probably that swamp wizard, if I had to guess. It doesn't look like they're carrying a wand, though. Maybe it's one of those people down below. Uh-oh. Alright, so we only have 3 health left. And this thing is going to follow us and keep casting lightning, so we have to keep moving so it doesn't kill us. Okay, we're good. We only have 3 health left, so we got to be very careful. Okay, apparently I can't fit through there. Back around we go. If we can grab at least that one wand, then I think I'm ready to move on to the next area. We got a good amount of gold here, so it's not like we're absolutely stuck for what to do. There it is. There is a wand. The person drowned in here with it. It's not a very good one, but I'll take it anyway. Alright. I think it's probably time to move on then before we get murdered by something unexpected. That's all different cocktails. There must have been a fire-throwing enemy in there. Alright, what do we have here? Looking for decent wands and decent spells in the store. Small teleport bolt is pretty valuable, but this wand is junk. Getting some black holes is also pretty valuable, and this wand is decent. That one's fine. That one has always cast orbiting path. It's a very good wand, except for that orbiting path is going to make things very weird. I think we're probably going... Oh, I already came down and healed. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I think probably this one is our best bet, just to get the black holes going. The Castellet on it doesn't matter so much because it has very few slots and still shuffles. Let's go take a quick look at our perks and we'll come back and buy one of these. We can get no longer negative effects of eating, levitating makes damage particles, or 50% extra max health one-off. Well, all those seem pretty bad, so let's do one reroll here while we can afford it. More crits, homing shots, or healthy exploration. I'm going to take homing shots because that's usually silly. This ability makes a bunch of spells very weird. However, I realize now, it also makes black holes really unreliable. They go really far, but they may not go where you want them to. So, this may be less good now that I've just invested in that. We'll get it anyway, just to see what it does, though. So, we can tunnel our way out of our starting area here if we want, but we're not really well equipped to fight off Scott. We don't actually have a very powerful arsenal available to us. So, even though we could tunnel through this one, it is a little spooky. So, we will see. What's the other option you have there besides full health restore? Oh, that one restores all of your spell casts. Any spell that has charges will get recharged by picking up the green gem. So I have spent 1 bomb, so that might be valuable to us, but I was planning on buying the black holes anyway, which makes it a little bit less immediately relevant, because now we have 6 tunneling abilities that are more powerful than the bombs to begin with. So I could have grabbed it, but we might want to come back up here later, and it might be useful to have that recharge available still. A little bit clogged, but we can deal with that as well. The nice thing about our acid balls that we have is they can help us tunnel through some of these wood and other barriers if we're careful about it. So we have a bunch of options for maneuvering around right now, even though our actual wands may not be that thrilling on an individual space. So, there we go. There's a wand again. If we can keep looking around here, we might actually be able to get something worth talking about. Oop, that's a bad place for me to be standing, though. Let's get in the water real fast to wash off the toxic sludge and machine gun down these fellows. There are quite a lot of them. Thankfully, the purple guys only have melee, so that does limit their ability to cause us problems. My aim is apparently not very good at this right now, though. There we go. Okay. That was a lot of friends all of a sudden. This shotgun wand could be quite useful. I don't know exactly how viable it'll be mana-wise, but I guess that guy doesn't want to fight us, so we'll take it. Okay, this shotgun wand is actually a pretty decent wand base. 225 charge speed, no shuffle. Yeah, let's mess around with that a little bit here. It's going to be very spready right now. Ah! It's going to be very spready, which is great with gunpowder trail, because it means literally everything will explode. Pick up all this gold on the ground. And let's see what else we can find around here, because I think I can kind of just tunnel with this, too. If you shoot it at wood, it'll generally destroy it all. Is that the chug-chug noise the spellcast is? Yeah, it has a very good audio design to it. The gunpowder is very silly. It does the job, but it sure makes a mess. Ah, we ran out. Alright. Let's... Oh, I should have refilled up the rest of my water the whole way. I always forget that I can do that in the Holy Mountain, because it has those 2 pond areas in it every time. It's so easy to forget. So the first thing that we're looking for on our main objective today is getting into the snow area and finding and kicking 3 of those giant stone hands, because that's what gets us the portal spell. If we can at least get to that, then we'll be able to proceed into the full adventure. Because if my theory is correct, what we basically need to do is pick up the portal spell, so kick 3 hands in the snow area, bring that portal spell to the anvil in the Hisi base so that we can get it properly repaired, because as previously noted, that's what turns it into the portal spell, otherwise it's just a broken spell. And once we do that, we have to take it into the underground jungle. There is, I believe, a statue that we found during the last run, when we actually picked up the portal for the first time, that I think is the clue we need to figure out what to do next. So, once we get there, I will give you the breakdown of what exactly we're trying to accomplish in there, but I'm pretty confident that we've got a path forwards if we can get to that point. So, no idea what it's going to do for us, but I think I know how to do it. The only problem with the shotgun is that it is very widespreading, and even though we have homing shots, it moves so fast it has a hard time deciding what it should home in on. So, we will see. Let's go back to the more reliable weapon for now, I guess. This is the problem with bombs. They don't always go where you want them to land. It does give us a bit of extra money out of the hole there, but not what we wanted. So I guess let's just black hole this one so we can go in. Ooh. A little store. I don't know if blood is the same, because if I... Oh no. What did you do? Damage up! Okay, that's a pretty good always cast. Not bad. Let me check my progress here. I don't know if I've picked up the blood spell before. No. It looks similar to oil and water, though, and oil and water are very good wand upgrade spells, because they have those minus cast delay, minus recharge times on them. I don't know if blood is the same, but let's buy it and find out. It is the same, but it has limited uses. Okay, good to know. Let's keep exploring around here. We might be able to put that to good use, but we'll have to wait and see. Getting the damage up on our basic wand is actually going to make this one significantly more powerful, because it means every shot has like 12 extra base damage. So, this is going to work for a lot longer now. It also gives every trail, every attack that like angry orange sparks shooting out the back of it too, to indicate that it is buffed. And if we put other spells in this wand, this thing could be a real powerhouse depending on what we find. It doesn't have a whole lot of space in it, so we can't make this wand absolutely insane yet, because it only has 2 spell slots. And not a whole lot of mana charge, but we can probably do some good work with this until we find a better base wand to work from. So, let's keep rolling. I want to get in here, too, but again, with the same problem with bombs, they're just going to roll down the hill, so... Black hole it is. It's another store! That's kind of weird, isn't it? They don't normally get these back-to-back like this. I don't know if I need any of this stuff. The energy ball could be like a decent replacement for our current basic spell on our wand. But I don't know if I want it so bad that I want to farm up the money to be able to afford it and come back here. For now, we're just looking for a little bit of extra cash, finding some more wands, anything else that'll give us some useful spells or ability to maneuver. Having a black hole wand already does make a big difference, though, so that should help. So far, so good, though. There's not a whole lot coming throwing at us right off the bat here, but if we take a look around, we may be able to find some more goodies. We're probably gonna want to go over to the west because we have enough firepower here that we have a reasonable chance of finding some good stuff in the fungal waste. Fungal growth area? I never remember exactly what it's called. My brain always wants to call it the fungal waste, but I don't think that's what it actually is. To be very careful not to hit that toxic barrel while shooting at a rat. That rat's got jukes standing still and I can't hit him. If we... no, that's a dead end. Alright, well, if we turn around here and start heading back west, that probably will be pretty good. We're at the bottom of the map right now, so there's not a whole lot more descending value we could get from looking for more things. A nearby creature gets a random wand. Well, that would be worth looking for. Whoop! That would be worth looking for, because any wands we can steal are good wands for us. But I don't... ow. I don't know where that nearby creature is the problem. Okay, that's a bomb. That was close. That came right at us from nowhere. Have we got a wand-bearing enemy around here? I feel like we're going a little too far away. We've reached the eastern wall now. So, no sign of any wand-bearing enemies yet. That's the eastern wall again. Alright. If this burns up, we might be able to get down to an area below it. Hello? Nope, there's just a bomb thrower. He's dead. I don't know who they gave a wand to. I think we're going to swing around to the west-hand side, though, because the fungal zone usually does have some good stuff. We've already got a decent selection of potions, so we don't need that so much, but the wands in there are usually better, both in their base stats and in their range of spells they can have. Alright, let's make our way back through the hole. We're gonna head all the way over to the west-hand side and see what we can grab. It would be cool if we could get one of these runs on stream soon to have Tinker with Wands everywhere again, because that is such a useful ability for trying to make fun things happen, because you can really, really mess with what you find. That and Wand Experimenter would be very fun, fun perks if we can manage to get them. This probably isn't going to be great for us. It's just not as good as this wand as well at the base level, and I think I'm going to leave that one behind. Spitter bolts. Ooh, hey, free health up. I'll take that. We can kill these guys so much faster when we land crits with these. These spark bolts here have an inherent crit chance up associated with them. And it turns out it has been doing work here for us. Let's try not to get shotgunned by this very bouncy fella. And see what else we can grab here. Nothing down the bottom. I have no idea where that wizard went. The person they gave a wand, I mean. Not seeing any signs of them around here. Alright, let's swing over west and see if we can grab something good. We already got a health up for our trouble, so that's pretty sweet already. Ooh, bouncy spells is interesting. We're not using spells that need to explode on contact, which is usually the place where bouncy spells gets really scary. Like if you have saw blades that are bouncy, you are going to murder yourself. It is just such a problem in that context. But right now we should be fine. The game does not want us going west though. A lot of these west paths are all in dead ends. Come on, game. Work with me here. Give us something cool so we can get around faster, or otherwise cause more trouble. We found our way to the fungal caverns? Fungal caverns. I'll see if I can remember that this time. But now that we're here, we gotta watch out and not get immediately murdered by these powerful enemies who are right at the start. The blindness wizard there is a very mean one. Thankfully, these guys are a little slow at being able to actually cross the distance to get to us, so we should be okay here. Having two of them on us might be a different story, though, especially with this freezing guy above us. We need to take him out first. Ow. There goes almost all of our health. Maybe we can't afford to go into the fungal caverns this time. We've got some good firepower, but we have no health left, which is gonna be a problem for us. Grab that money at least. There's a bunch of stuff right here, so if nothing else, we can probably try and use one of our black holes to chafe. That's a bomb! This is the problem with homing. When you have homing abilities and there are enemies nearby, trying to tunnel will cause your shots to fly away in places you're not expecting. If we do a shot with the black hole here, you'll also see what I mean, because it's probably going to do the same thing. Yeah, it really wanted to go down there. That's a master of polymorphing. We don't like seeing him here at all. We should be able to tunnel through these roots at least. But if that guy decides to come up here or comes to deal with us, we are going to be in trouble. Let's just try and scoop this wand. Always cast oil trail? Yeah. I don't think we can actually manage to take that with us. This is a very dangerous fungal cavern. I'm just gonna get out of here before we get turned into a sheep and murdered. Let's keep moving and see what else we can make happen here, because that is a scary looking place. Down towards safety we go. How did that ant get out here? He must have gotten teleported out. Okay, into the portal, please. Thank you. Grab some health. Ooh, treasure rain. Nice. This is a good place for it, too. I can probably actually pick it all up. That was like Doom Eternal caves. Yeah, there were a lot of baddies in there in very close proximity. Let's get over there before it all disappears. Ah, got most of it. Alright. What do we got? We got small teleport bolts, or regular teleport bolts, I think? Yeah, it's a regular teleport bolt. We've got some dropping shots. I don't like that one very much. That's the same one we got with the cast on end. Full of saw blades. And a fireball. Nothing super exciting in these ones. What do we have over here? Revenge rats, faster movement, and stainless armor. Let's re-roll that at least once. Angry ghost. Tinker with wands everywhere! That's what we wanted. Tinker with wands everywhere is so good, because it means we now get the ability to edit our wands no matter where in the world we are. We aren't stuck doing it exclusively inside the Holy Mountain. So if we find wands in the world, we can just pull spells that we want out of them, which is super useful. So I don't think we need to worry about any of these. Teleport bolt could be nice if I want to get out of here and be able to come back, but we don't need to come back that much now that we have Tinker with Wands everywhere. So I think I'm just gonna go and we'll see what we can find. So let's leave that stuff behind and go take a look around the open area here. Coming into a new zone is always a little hazardous, because there's often a whole pile of people waiting to murder us, but We've got some decent firepower for this stage. The only problem is that as we get a little bit further, as we enter the Hisi base, we really need some bit more punch than we have right now. The ones that we're carrying don't really cut it once we start fighting big swarms of guys and robots. Like, I can handle a couple of little Hisi with this, but it'll get out of hand pretty fast if we don't get a way to deal with bigger things. Because, like, even this single sniper takes 4 or 5 shots. Which is not ideal. Oh, hello. The Hisi have incredible aim. I don't know how they programmed their aiming, but they are so good at shooting me. Alright, let's swoop around here. We're gonna drop a black hole into this little cave. Is there anything in here we want? Sawblade Orbit is very silly, but it is also likely to hurt us pretty badly. It's a decent base wand, but I think we're gonna have to leave that one alone. There's nothing in there I actually want out of it. Swing around underneath instead and see what else we can find. So the main thing we're on the lookout here for, in order to try and accomplish our first goal for this stream, is to find those hands. Oh, that is going to be a lot of ice. Oh, there's a lot of electricity down there. I don't know what's electrocuting it, but something sure is, so I can't really go that way now. If whatever is electrocuting it is actually still there... What was this? Some goopy thing... Oh, that's bad. Some goopy thing died there. But I don't know what. Something was there, though. So yeah, we have to find 3 of those hands... And ideally, find some decent wands, because already we're starting to hurt. What do we have in here? Bloodlust and Eldritch Portals. This is a pretty okay wand. I'll swap it for this one. And we'll see what else we can find. Bloodlust isn't really what we want. It's a damage up that also makes your attacks hurt you, which makes it pretty dangerous. And Eldritch Portal, that's what was electrocuting the water. Eldritch Portal, you really need to be able to cast not where you're standing. If you're casting it where you are, it's just going to cause you problems. It looks like there might be another source of electricity in there. There is. There's a generator in that side. This side looks safe enough, though, so let's swing around here. There's another wand in the cavern there we can drill to if we have to. And it's looking like we probably have to. There's a worm here. We can see signs of that. That, like, smooth tunnel through there is a good indicator that a worm came through. There's another wand. All we gotta do is not get murdered before we can get some cool stuff happening here, so let's be a little bit defensive if we can. Check out this side before we try and do anything silly. Alright, let us drill our way into this then. Ooh. Concentrated Light is a really good spell for trying to make a silly wand early. Let's go ahead here quickly and pull the Bloodlust out of here in case I decide I want it. Swap this one in, take out the formation and the short-range homing, because we already have homing shots, so we don't need that. Alright, that's pretty decent. Spell mana drain on that is 30, which means if we put it on our main wand, it's going to drain it too fast. We probably could put them in here and make this pretty decent. It's a little slow still. That recharge time is going to kill us on this one still. Alright, I guess I'll just put them back in here then for now, and we'll keep going with this. I'll hold on to 2 of these. But we don't need the rest. Actually, before I forget, let's swap the wands around so our wands that do things are in the front slots. Okay, having some of this... Ooh, more fast enemies again. Having more of our tools here to make a powerful wand is good. This is why we like Tinker everywhere. We have 3 more black holes for digging with. That is probably pretty decent. Let's, I want to keep this wand for later if I can, though. So I kind of need to make some space here, don't I? Alright, we're going to dump this third wand because I think it's just not as good potential later. This one gives us some good digging ability without needing to use our black holes, though, because snow and ice in this area is vulnerable to the explosions of these orbs. It would actually probably be better if it didn't have an autocast at the end, so we could fire it a little faster without it chaining everywhere, but it does make it a little bit more dangerous for enemies, at least, so I shouldn't complain too much. Give me that. Alright, still haven't found any of those hands, though. That is a potential problem, and the homing is great on this because it moves slowly enough that the homing acceleration makes it do some silly things. It'll just bounce around until it murders them. Alright. Another wand over there we can go and try and check. This one might be a little bit harder to get to without tunneling. So we'll just blast our way through the wall. It's got a big lake around it, but it seems like it's otherwise safe. This one is glowing lances. Glowing lances are pretty good. This is actually a pretty strong base wand. It's even faster base recasts than the one we have here. It's got a little bit less mana charge, but more mana capacity. I'm gonna swap these. Let's pull out the concentrated lights, because we're gonna want to keep that, and swap in this wand. Now this one, glowing lances are pretty cool. They are a little bit hard to aim, because they have an inherent drop-off to them. But they're pretty powerful as a, pretty early game spell. Don't know if we're going to keep trying to use them. Ooh, dead worm. But, with homing, that should mitigate some of the downside of their hard-to-aim challenges. So we might be able to make some good stuff happen here. We're still a little bit on the fragile side. This is one of the cool things about glowing lances, is they can cut through materials like wood. So we can actually shoot through walls at some enemies. But let's see what else we can make happen here. A little sad that worm didn't actually have a health up for us. I'm pretty sure it is random whether they do or not. In this case, it seems as though the answer was not. Ah! Oh, that really hurt. That was mean. I was firing down to hit at the turret that was down there, and instead, I wound up shooting the earth element, ice element thing that got thrown up at us. That's not good for our survival. We're getting a little bit haggard here. We might need to bail and then come back. A worm just spawned in the ice wall on the right there, so that's fun. Don't you be shooting me. There are a lot of explosives right there, so we gotta be careful about that. If we can follow that worm, he might have a max health up for us if we can manage to kill him, or if the world will kill him for us. Turret over there we want to avoid. More Hisi to deal with, too. We're going to be trying to play it a little bit more carefully than sometimes here, but we will see if that actually winds up working. I don't know where that worm went. It looks like he came out into this room and then just stopped existing. Maybe he arced his way back around down here. I don't know if worms are inherently resistant of going into the walls. I know that they don't, it looks like he did come straight down here. I know they won't go into the Holy Temple unless they are forced in there by, too much momentum or whatever. But I don't know if that also applies to the extremely dense rock on the east and west edges of the map. It looks like he went straight down here, though. He's still going. So, talking about extreme momentum carrying them down to the Holy Mountain. Whoa! Okay! We have had some crazy near misses in this run. Some crazy near misses. I want to chase him down, but I know he's coming back. Yeah. Alright, 1 or 2 more shots to take him out. It looks like he doesn't have a heart upgrade for us again, though, which is very sad. Something down here was trying to kill him. So I'm gonna eat all this... Oh, there's a polymorph in there, too. As I was saying, I'm gonna eat this blood so that we can actually see through the walls a little better, but if there's a lot of polymorphine in there, that's probably not gonna be a good idea. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of polymorphine in there. Trying to drink any of it is getting us polymorphed. Well, that's unfortunate. There is another wand up here. Along with a couple of gun folks. Snipers and shotgunners. So far so good, though. What's in this? That is an incredible base wand. It has no slots, though, which makes it really unlikely to be good enough for us. It has some real potential, but the lack of slots just kind of makes it not viable, unfortunately. I think I'll hold on to this one. We got some potential here with some other bits and pieces in our wands. One thing that I'm not sure how it works, that will be relevant if we try and use it, is if that blood spell still contributes its reduced... Oh, whoa. Still contributes its reduced, Where are these trying to go? I guess the sniper's under there. Still contribute the reduced cast time and recharge delay. Oh, it's the gravity field! I can't shoot bullets out of here! My bullets are too slow, so the spark wand can do it, but the other one's too slow to get the bullets out. Did I get him? There's gold on the floor. No, did not get him. Okay. So far, we have found none of the thing we came here to get, which is a little worrying. The whole purpose of the run here is to mess around with the portal spell, and we have found no hands. I don't know how many spawn in the world, but it's gotta be more than 0. I think I've seen at least 4 in one attempt. So there's probably some spares. But we need to find any of them to be able to at least try this. So let's see if we can find that before we have to really flee. We are pretty close to death, though. Only another shot or two will take us out, so we'll have to be careful with how greedy we want to try and be here. Not being able to get the worm blood vision is gonna suck a little bit, too. Makes it harder to see what's coming. It does seem like there's another worm that came through here, though, so there might be some more worm blood available. What is this? That's Death Cross, Reduce Spread and Scatter Spell. Nope, I don't think there's anything there we actually want. Alright. You can see there's more worm tunnel here, so we may find our worm buddy in this direction. Continues down this way. There's a bunch, like a little bit of worm blood everywhere. Oh, looks like he turned around, so he must have been going the other direction. Okay, I guess we go back? No, because this is going to take us up there. So I think he came down and then turned around. So we're probably going the wrong way. If we want to find that worm, it's going to be back over here in the east somewhere. Because he came up and then down. Through there. Nope, back up through here, I guess. What a weird path. No, I don't think we're gonna find him. Oh, it was this one! We did find him already. He's already dead. Right. Unfortunately, I don't have a good chainsaw to be able to get some tasty juice out of him. We have some spells with piercing, but these don't actually create a lot of blood. Oh no. Nearby creatures start teleporting around. Okay, that might be a problem for us. if anything nasty warps itself onto us, we are going to be in trouble. Let's try and blend what little blood we can out of this guy. There we go. Give us a little bit of foresight. And let's keep moving. That gives us actually a pretty decent amount of worm blood. That'll do. Okay. We're just looking. Oh, that is a scary enemy to have running around here. All those wizard-shaped guys have real nasty effects on their spells if they hit you. That one, I believe, makes you twitchy. So you start randomly firing your own wands, and your wands can also hurt you. So that can get bad real fast. Yeah, nothing up there. Where are these hands? I usually find a whole pile of them, even if I'm not looking for them. And this time, the one time we specifically want them, the game's like, nah, you're good, you don't need them. We gotta be careful with big open spaces like this, because they are gonna make us very prone to getting sniped. And the sniper shot can kill us outright with the amount of health we have right now. So if we're not careful, we can go down very quickly to an untimely shot. This will have an item in it. It usually has a chest at the bottom. So if we can open up the wall here without dying, that'll get rid of the water so we can swim down and go check out what it is. Hoi, okay. Let's just make this a little bit safer for us by blowing up that electric generator. There's a big hole there. I'll see if there's still a chest in this one. There almost always is. Yeah, there it is. So we should be able to get something out of it once the water clears out a little bit faster. In the meantime, let's take a peek over this side and see if there's anything else good we can grab while we're here. Mostly looking like no. There's a sniper over there somewhere. We can hear him, so I'm just going to leave him alone. We're a little prone to death right now, so let's go back this way and see how the water's doing. That should be enough. It has a Pahasilma in it. That is actually pretty cool. Okay. Ooh, health plus, thank you. Now we're not quite so fragile. What we're gonna do here, I think, then, is let's... I want the teleportation to check something afterwards. We need water to put out fires. I kind of want that Pahasilma, though, so we're going to make ourselves a little space and convert in some hastium. There we go. Do a little digging with this wand here. There we go. Now we have a decent bucket here to fill up with our juices. So let's dump the acceleration potion in there. The snow is being a little annoying, filling up the gap again beside us, but we have more than enough room here to fill up with our potion. And levitation in there as well. You can see it's already converting at the surface. It's a little hard to tell because it's so bright in here now. But that lighter, or that more saturated green is hastium being formed out of the combination of our two potions. And that one's done. There we go. Now we can just give it a little mix. Make sure it all gets swapped over well. And fill up our bottle again. There we go. Now we have a bottle of hastium, which is combined moving faster and levitating faster, which is pretty cool. Chuck that empty potion away, and let's go down here and grab the eyeball. So now this eyeball will let us tunnel through materials, and it can be kind of handy for a couple of things. It also might let us test a couple of things later that I'm curious about. For now, though, let's be a little careful. There's still the possibility of instant death around every corner. Oh, there's a rocket thing over there as well. Let's get out of here. Nope, looks like it actually blew up. Oh, jeez, this is a scary place. We're in a giant puddle of water near a lightning elemental. I want to go pick up those items, but I don't know if we can. Looks like he might have died, though, so it looks like we're okay again. Good. We have another wand in here to go check out. See if we get anything good in it. One of the challenges with making crazy wands is you... Oh, that's pretty good, actually. No, the wand capacity is awful. The mana charge is great, and the recharge and cast delay is also pretty good, but only having 2 slots means it's kind of not viable. But, yeah, we got some stuff going on here. I forgot we were healed, too. The fact that we're back up at 100-something health. Ooh. Improved wands again, huh? I can probably already make something happen here. Okay! That's the danger of looking at your wands when you're not in a safe place. The likelihood of getting shot goes up a fair bit. Let's get up here and kill that wizard. Elemental friend, there we go. Grab at least some of the money out of him before it all floods with diamonds. What I meant to say is, one of the problems with building a crazy wand is you are really limited by your access to specifically the add mana effect. It makes such a huge difference on the ability of you to make absolute shenanigans wands. And it is a one-of-a-kind spell. You can get more of them, but there isn't really anything that does the same thing. This wand is actually kind of crazy now already, just with that one improved wands effect, too. It shoots fast. Alright. Lost all the loot in there. We're still just looking for those hands, and I have not seen a single one. Is it possible that they don't spawn, maybe? I have never had such a hard time finding these hands. There's one, finally. Is it broken? A worm ate it, so it doesn't even work. Well, that's not good. We know there's usually at least one spare, but like... That's not what we wanted to find out here. Oh, that was mean. The electric stone here is gonna keep zapping the floor in there. I don't know if there's anything else in this room, but... Whoa, okay. Little ice elementals. We are getting really... boxed in there. Thankfully, it looks like the electric stone rolled out of the room. I might have to give up on finding these fists if they're gonna be broken, but I'm hoping that's not the case and we can make this work. Because I'm very curious about what we get for doing this. Let's not drown. If we can help it. Okay, we're all the way back up at the top of the map again. Is there? Oh, poor little guy. He's having the same problem we were. His projectiles are stuck to him. Oh, that guy was apparently out of the range of that spell, I guess. That is a lot of acid. That's probably not good that we broke that out. That guy was super bold, just going straight into the acid vat. Not afraid at all. Alright. We'll hunt around a little bit more. If we can't find one intact fist that we can use to start this process off soon, we're probably gonna have to bail on this, because it's just decided that this might not be the run, it seems. We are running out of mana with this wand, though, which is a little bit of a problem. I need to swap back to one of our other options. There we go. We can grab the money, but... we made it all the way to the west wall, and we still didn't find a single intact hand. Alright. I guess this just isn't the time to do that particular secret. There's other things that we can try and experiment with too, if we keep going longer run, but... it's a little sad. That was kind of what I wanted. Don't get sniped now. There's a bunch of snipers chasing us around here, so we're gonna have to be careful about them trying to drop down on us. Like that one is about to do. There's still another one up there, so there may be a sniper dropping down shooting us out of the air. Hey, Nihil. Glad you could make it. We're having a bit of a cursed run here today. I guess I'm just gonna move on. I've scoured this entire place and found a single broken hand. Alright. That's fine, though. We made it back to the Holy Mountain, which means we have some safety here to experiment with tweaking our wands to be real crazy. This one is going to be amazing. So all we should have to do here is take out some of these. Actually, probably don't even need to keep all these, just throw them in the water. And if we put a couple of those in there, maybe one of those in there... Actually, I could probably take the other shots out since we don't have any multicasts. This should make it now already so that it has no cast delay. That's pretty good. That seems pretty good. This wand over here also already has no recharge time delay, so I put them up in this one. It should just blast. The problem here is the mana. So this gives us damage up, which is pretty powerful, but the lack of mana in it means it's not going to be really viable as an actual long-term tool. So I think we'll swap over to this one for now. Oh, what's about to happen? Barrel rain. Let's be careful. None of them exploded. Oh, we even got one of the big ones over there. None of them exploded, I'll take that. Normally they fall with enough force to blow up no matter where they land, but looks like we got off easy this time. We could put some more higher cast delay spells in here, like I could put a shotgun in this one probably. And it would still be pretty fast. The main problem here is still the mana drain though, so that's where we need that add mana ability to really be off to the races. For now, let's shuffle those two around so we have a beam option that's going to run out of mana pretty fast, and then we have our orbs if we need a follow-up option as well. Forgot there were explosives over there. What else do we have here? Nothing super exciting, nothing super exciting. I might want to get that double cast. It's a really expensive one, though, just to get a single double cast out of it. This one's okay, but nothing special. There's another Bloodlust and a bunch of missiles. I think we're going to leave all those ones alone. What do we have here? Projectile Repulsion Sector, Breathless, and Pinpointer. Those are okay. Let's go ahead and re-roll that. Close Call, more critical chance if things are close to you. Concentrated Spells is shenanigans, so we're going to take that. That makes our firepower really good again. It's basically a big damage up on everything we can do now. It makes them a little bit slower to cast. But we already have a wand here that can cast faster than our mana can support, so this should basically just mean that we can one-shot most of these regular enemies here with our homing death lasers. Gotta be a little careful, because if there's an enemy underneath you like that, your shots will have a higher tendency of accidentally rerouting into the floor, like we were just seeing there, instead of going for the enemy that it can actually see. So, it isn't perfect yet. We are taking a bunch of damage here, but we're getting somewhere. Let's just fire a couple of those in there, because that rapid fire is better at taking out these little guys. So, we have a couple of things we want to try and do here. One of them is we want to find that hourglass room that I was showing off previously. Since we have a vial of teleportation, I want to see what happens if we pour that in the hourglass instead of blood. The blood gives you some money, but I don't know if that's going to be the best possible outcome that we could be getting from there. Also, this is annoying. I'm trying to shoot the guy down below us, but the homing has decided that that enemy in front of us is more important. This is one of the downsides of taking always-on homing shots. It can make it really hard to aim at the enemies that are directly in front of you. Alright, so we're gonna swing over and check the west wall first. Because if everything works out, that'll be a... okay. That'll be a good place for us. We don't have any pheromone, so I can't get free healing out of the healing PC, which is a little sad. If we can pick up some pheromone in here, then that would be a nice little bonus. Firing these multi-bounce shots in a room full of explosives is pretty dangerous. So I have to be careful if I'm going to keep doing that, because otherwise we will explode dramatically. But for now, we got away with it, so let's keep rolling. I feel like I gotta sneeze again. It's actually maybe gonna happen this... Yep, it happened this time. I actually got to sneeze. Nice. Ooh. Let's just fire some orbs in there, take that robot out. There's another vat of acid here. Seems like they like having those around this place for some reason. I think that was actually toxic sludge, though, so it's a little bit less dangerous. The acid is a brighter green, yeah. Alright, we're still going towards the west wall, because that is where we believe our hourglass may be. Hourglass can spawn on both sides. It's not guaranteed to be on the west. I just seem to find it spawns there a little bit more often than the other side. Not entirely reliable, but just a little bit more likely. There's a wand in a vat of lava, which is lovely. Now, this being a bomb is kind of scary, because the guys on the other side of this wall make it really hard to trigger. There we go. So far, so good, though. We're getting there. Gotta be a little bit careful with how much we overextend into this mess. Because there's now fire and freezing death air everywhere in here. And the floor is turning into molten metal, so it hurts us too. Let's quickly just toss some water on that so we can maybe get down here. We don't really have a great long-term digging option, but we can just tunnel through this with a black hole if we want. It's going to do some weird things, though, so be careful about the ceiling here. Because homing does affect black holes in mysterious ways. And we don't want to drop a whole sea of lava on our own heads, thank you very much. I mean, you might want me to, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try not to. It will have kind of torn its way around this area, though. Alright. We're still heading to the west wall. Let's see what else we can find here. I don't know if there's much we can see. We could theoretically tunnel through this. Summon worm. Uh-oh. Where? Where's the worm? There's the worm! Well, that solved the lava pool problem for us. Slash made the lava pool problem much worse. We can't really go down there right now to follow that worm. I want to go check the wand, but lava keeps pouring out. Alright, what is this? Ooh, quadruple cast. We want that. Alright, we're gonna swap this out here. We're just gonna grab the quadruple cast and the glimmer out of the wand. And then throw it away, because I actually don't care about the rest of the wand. But the quadruple cast and the glimmer gives us some potential real value down the line here once we start trying to power up this wand a little bit more. So far, so good. We're starting to get the run together here. Just gotta be a little careful, because there's still a lot of chances for things to go bad. And we are taking a fair amount of damage, so I'm not invulnerable. We aren't necessarily safe, health-wise. Aha! We actually found exactly the room I was looking for. This is it. Now, I'm a little unclear if we're going to have easy digging option here. We can probably dig with this wand. The thing I'm scared about is if the wand gets into the room, there's a chance it would break this. It looks like we got away with it. So, let's see what happens if we pour teleportation in here. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I feel like it does. All right, what's in here? Whoa. Crazy. Thundercloud, anti-gravity, glittering field, bomb. We're actually full, so I can't pick up everything wantonly. I really don't want thundering. What is in here? Vacuum field, electric arc, sea of acid, and large magic missile. I wonder if this is just like 8 random spells every time you come here. That's cool. I don't know if I want any of these though. They're all like area effect spells, which are not the ones that I usually go for. I don't know, I think Glittering Field is the same. Let's get out of here. Oh, never mind, I went back in here. Sea of water. Well, sorry folks. I think your sea of water kind of disappeared into nothingness. The glass is kind of dissolving, which is weird. Let's get out of here before anything bad happens to that place, because it earthquakes the world when it dies. But that's cool! That is a secret that I'd never seen before. So now we have some large magic missiles, we got a glittering field. Not a whole lot of loot that we were actually taking out of that, but we got some potential there. Now, one thing that I should do here while we have a chance is quickly do this and this. Not that one. Is it this? Yes. Yes, that'll do it. That gives us a total recharge time of none, basically. A 0.01 second recharge time. So that makes this wand very silly. The question I'm not sure about is if it'll still work when we run out of blood. So we're doing a bit of science here on our laser beam wand. Another... Whoa! Oh, yes! That's add mana. That's what we wanted. Let's take this and put it in there, and now we are laughing. One more add mana will make this wand perfectly self-sufficient, but now we can fire it for twice as long without it running out of charge. I'll take one of these just in case, and I think we're gonna... just for kicks, I guess we'll hold on to this one. Doesn't really matter at this point. Add mana is always a nice thing to find, though. And with our homing, we are now a pretty dangerous weapon on anything we can actually see. This is where the worm went. Oh, there's a broken wand if I want one. I think I'm done with the teleportation now, so I'm just gonna chuck that down there. And grab the broken wand and see what it wants to give us, because the anvil is right to our right. So if we just make our way over there a little bit further, we should be able to find out what's in store for us. We've used about half of our blood supply for this super wand. We may get slowed down a fair bit once the blood runs out. We'll find out, though, shortly. It may still contribute to the wand's overall stats, even if it doesn't have any juice left in it. But we will see. Let's just tunnel our way out of this one, I guess. Should do the trick. The problem with the concentrated light as our main weapon is that you can't attack into fluids with it. So that can be a problem when we're flooding the area we're fighting in like that, but overall it should be fine. All spells become explosive for a time. Neat! That was sad. Well, we found something cool, but it didn't last, sadly. I think what happened there, and the reason why we died instantly, is because the blood spell became explosive. So as soon as we fired there, it shot a couple of explosive particles directly into us, which triggered them and blew us up. So... that was definitely a murder via chat. Well done. Back we go again, I guess. We start over. I wasn't really thinking about the blood being explosive. Usually when we get explosive spells, it changes our our attack cooldown so badly that you can't really hit anything with it, and as a result, it's unlikely to cause you serious danger, but I think the problem there was that the liquid became explosive. So it just cooked us instantly. That one doesn't look great, but I'm going to take it because we don't have a replacement yet, so we might as well. A little sad to lose our Tinker with Wands Everywhere run like that, but maybe we'll get lucky and get that ability again. It really makes a big difference on our ability to make fun wands quickly. Let's head down here. And see if we can get a decent start this time. Last time our start was super slow. So if we can get a little bit more going on in the first couple floors here, that would be really nice. That's the edge, so there's probably not going to be a whole lot else to the right of us. The world does expand a little bit so you can get over to the lava lake, but we're going to go back up, I think. That looks like a pretty hostile mess over there. So we have an electric stone now. If I equip that, it'll shock everything around us, and we can actually use that to kill enemies that are connected to the terrain we're touching. Especially if they happen to walk into the water. But generally, I don't know how useful it actually is. There are a couple of puzzles that we can solve with it, because it'll let us automatically electrocute the... oh, yeah, lava effect, right. It let us automatically electrocute the terrain that's supposed to be the electricity target. But other than that, I'm unclear if it's really going to do the trick for us. Alright, we waited out the lava, so we're not going to kill ourselves by shooting anymore. It looks like there were a bunch of broken potions over here, but I suspect they were probably just broken... oh no, there was actually a whole lab there. I was expecting they're just broken by the electricity pulsing through it, and it indeed looks like that was the case, but as a result, everything's broken. Well, that's sad. We can tell there was some ambrosia and some other nice, helpful potions in there, but they're all gone, so... not today. Let's see if we can find anything to give us a good shot at this, then. We're gonna have to go down lower. It looks like there might be another generator sitting in the water over here. Sometimes those electric pulses go a long way. Oh, it's a generator. It's 2 generators. Have we got an effect that just makes the world full of electricity? I didn't see it when we spawned in here, but that's 3 generators right next to each other. They seem to be everywhere this time. It's kind of weird how many of them there are. I don't know what's up with that. The world is full of lightning today. Alright. Let's keep scooting. There's another wand for us. That might be good. What do we have here? Oh. Ah! That's so rude. We waited until we started looking at it to tip up and fry us with the plasma beam. Oh, that's a return bolt. That's not going to work the way I was thinking. Yeah. Alright, well, we're just gonna have to leave that alone because I don't have a good way to destroy the plasma generator, and it will fry us if we try and go over there again. So, not today, pal. Ow. We are dead, I think. Nope, not quite. We have 1 health left. This is a terrible start. We've made no money, and we're already out of health and have no good wand effects. So this might wind up just being a... Oh, it spun around, so we can probably grab the electric torch wand now at least. It's not a good wand, but it's better than nothing. But I think we might just want to wind up resetting this one, because this is pretty bad. Oh, alcohol trail. Everything is filling up with booze now. And there's the death. We died to a Hamis! That might be one of the only times I've died to a Hamis. Where are you in this list, friend? Little fella? Don't see them. They should be in here somewhere, so you can see how many times you've killed them and how many you've been killed by. Oh no, I've been killed by 5 of them. Embarrassing, but you know what? There you go. Let's go again, see if we can get a decent start going this time, because so far it has been very hostile to us. We have a blood potion, which is a pretty decent starting potion. We have a bomb wand, and we have the little spitter bolts. Spitter bolts aren't my favorite as a spell, but they do make it possible for us to make a cool wand faster, because they have some inherent beneficial effects on our wands themselves. Let's keep going here. I don't know how long we're going to play this for. We might swap games if we're not getting any good runs happening, because if the game refuses to let us actually play it, we might go try something else here. We'll see. I also might wind up doing some runs with the viewer interaction turned off in future, because as cool as it is to have the ability for people to interact with the game like that, getting nuked when we're at the middle of trying to find something cool does make it a little bit difficult to actually pull off the things I'm trying to show. So we'll see. We will see. Let's keep running around though. See what we can do here. So far, it looks like still not a lot. Oh, Hisi Rain is a really mean one too. We might get lucky, but it can easily mean that we're getting swarmed with the late game Hisi that we don't really have the means to fight yet. We will see. If it's just a couple of the basic guys, it's not so bad, but they can get pretty dangerous pretty fast. More Hamis. It looks like they didn't get any really nasty ones in that Hisi Rain, which is good. Although there's a couple over here. The grenade throwers and such are a little tougher. There's a sniper. Okay, yeah, yeah. This is bad. We're pretty weak for fighting a bunch of more powerful Hisi already. We'll get good money out of them if we can kill them, but if we can't kill them, it's going to be because we're going to be very dead very quickly. There's a healer Hisi, but we don't have a pheromone potion, so we can't take advantage of that. Looks like we're doing okay again now. We've stabilized a little bit. Still low on health, so we may need to bail out of here pretty soon. But at least we have a little bit more gold this time. Enough to do a re-roll or otherwise make something happen if we don't find what we're looking for right away. There's probably a potion up in the surface somewhere, but we won't be able to get it because it's going to be on the surface somewhere. Seems like a roguelite we can die unusually suddenly. Yeah, Noita is full of things that can kill you incredibly fast. As we get even more powerful, the things that can kill us incredibly quickly get more ridiculous, not less so. And usually it's not a problem, but sometimes the things that can kill us incredibly quickly are hard to predict because they are being inflicted by the Twitch integration. So they come out of nowhere. We'll see what we can find, though, because we have a decent amount of money here. We might just want to bail and see if we can get a decent perk to make our run more viable. I do enjoy the crazy shenanigans this game lets you do, though, if we can live long enough to make them happen. Alright, let's get out of here. It's not worth running around that much further. We've kind of explored the core chunk of the level. Grab the full heal, and what else have we got? Chain Bolt is probably going to be a decent alternative to our basic wand for now. It makes it much better even if we have a hard time hitting enemies. The only thing I'm worried about is the mana drain. It means we don't have any good wands yet, so it might be really hard to hit anything. Treasure Rain gives us some more money. That's nice. Let's try and stand over on the left so not all the money goes down the hole. Not as much treasure as last time, but free treasure is still free treasure. Let's go ahead and re-roll this once. Perk Lottery is a really valuable perk, even if it doesn't do anything for us right now. And I guess we're gonna go down, because we have no money left, and no other options. Thankfully, this is a much more high firepower spell, so we can kill things a lot faster. The main problem that we're just going to run into is the refire rate on it is going to suck. So we may have a hard time dealing with groups quickly. The wand's multi-shot nature can have it kill multiple things for us in short order, which is pretty handy. But if we don't kill it in one shot, we're going to have to be running away. Alright. I don't know why that guy exploded quite so violently. I guess there was a toxic tank in that pile of goop. Alright, we got some good stuff here. A reduced recharge time spell can be really useful if we can have enough mana to support it. Other than that, we're gonna keep rolling here, I think. I don't know if there's likely to be anything good under here, but let's just do a quick little peek, because I can see an air pocket. Yeah, there we go. This is what I was talking about. If we miss one of the enemies with this chain bolt, it does become much more likely that we're going to be in trouble. This is mean. We're able to work our way around here, but there's immediately a wall there. I guess we'll use a bomb on it. We have 3 of them left. And it will make sure the bomb lands in there with the way the floor is built. Alright. A little bit on fire, but that's fine. So far, there really hasn't been much of interest around here. We've got that one shop, but not much in the way of wands or other upgrade options. Oh, ow, great. The lava blood from that guy just so happened to blow up the canister there. Ow. I guess I should have seen that coming, though, so that's on me. There's a wand. What's in here? It's decent. It's shuffle, but we can probably swap our chain bolt over there to actually be able to hurt things. And even though the bubbles on it aren't particularly impressive, there's at least a lot of them. So we can use that to turn the area in front of us into a damage field against weak enemies like these little guys. Probably not very good against him, though. The health plus is a nice little bit of extra survival, so let's see if we can use that to make it further into the fungal cavern here and get something good. This is the main problem I was talking about, though. Like, an enemy like this who doesn't die to one salvo is really going to be a problem for us. There we go. Alright, fungal caverns usually have a lot of goodies in it. Can we take it? Whoa, that guy just slid through the floor. I don't know if I've ever seen them do that before. That's a fun little thing to know about. We got a broken wand here. Okay, it's being guarded by an angry fella. There are a bunch of angry fellas. Let's try the bubble strategy here for a minute. Just Just barrage them with bubbles a little bit. Because the bubbles can stun these guys, which means they drop out of our line of attack. So if we can keep just bouncing them down there, they'll die before they're able to do anything to us. Which would be pretty sweet. Okay, now we know there was a wand up top, so we may have to go back over there and try and check that out. There's a lot of badness around here. Hey, Hot End Gaming, thank you for the subscription there. I'm pretty sure Hot End Gaming is someone I know. Is that Ription? I think it might be. I don't remember if that's who it was though. I know someone I saw on Twitter had a rebrand to that, and I don't remember who it was. Hey, I did remember correctly. Well, good to see you back again. Alright. What do we have here? Acceleration potion. Unstable teleportation. We can try the eye again if that works. Let's see what else we have around here. There's the wand up top we were looking for before. We might just go ahead and do a fungal shift here to make the world more wacky too, since we're already in dangerous waters. Looks like we're gonna have to come at that from above though. Can we get above? Yes, we can over here. Hello, don't like that angry bat launcher. Ow. Rude. So far so good though, we're living. Slime reacts negatively to acceleration, which is why we're seeing explosions in there. There are a number of liquid interactions in this game where if they wind up touching each other, weird things happen, and some of them make them explode like that. What is this? Now, there's another reduced recharge time. Return is not my favorite. None of the other stuff on there I actually like, and 8 spells per cast might be good, but might also be a problem. There's polymorphine in there, so we're probably not going to risk going in there ourselves. Because polymorphine is a bad time. Now, I think there's a wall preventing us from going over to the west there, but if we just bubble this guy to death, I go straight into the polymorphine. That's not what we wanted. Come on. There we go. Alright, this guy looks like he actually died on his own, so we'll take that. Doesn't seem like there's much up here, because we're actually leaving the fungal zone. But let's take a look back in here, because there's probably some more goodies we can steal. This isn't going to help us dig, is it? No, return is just going to warp us back to where we were. We can shoot through the wall with this chain bolt, but it's very slow at killing those guys, so it's probably not going to be a viable strategy. If we come down from above here, we might get on top of that other wand slot we saw, though, so let's go take a quick look-see about. No, that's the wand we already picked up. There's the other one. Gotta watch out, they're shooting something, so there's gotta be a baddie over there of some kind. Okay, okay. It's someone who's got a wand. It's a darkness wizard with a wand. There we go. Gunned him down. Took them out. What is in this wand? It is 5 splitter bolts. On a decent wand base, this might be better to hold on to than this one. The recharge time's a little bit slower, but the non-shuffle nature of it and the high mana regen probably makes it better for us. What do we have in here? A lot of chainsaws. That's actually... we got a lot of stuff I want to hold on to now. Chainsaws are pretty helpful, so grabbing a couple of those is probably a good idea. We have 5 health left. I think it's time that we leave. I would love to be able to mess around here a little bit more and find some more cool stuff, because there's almost always good bits and pieces in the fungal caverns. But not dying is also a pretty high priority. Now, if we go down below here, there should be an exit, but this wand pedestal makes me wonder if there's an enemy with a wand below us here. And if there is, it could be pretty dangerous to swing around here with so little health. No, it looks like we're okay. There's actually another wand in the wall. So that's weird. Let's get out of here before we die. Okay, grab the heals. Thank you very much. We actually didn't keep our bomb, which is probably bad. Oh. Thanks for the wand, folks, but this one's not very good. The -17 spread is pretty cool, but the recharge time is astonishingly bad. Okay. Let's take a couple of these chainsaws out, because we're probably going to want them. Is this one a good base? It's a non-shuffler, but it's not a great base. Probably not better than this one. If we put this in here, and just fire this, what does it do? Right, that's the wrong one. It's this one. No, it's still not quite fast enough. This does bring down recharge time, but not cast delay. These bring down cast delay. So if I take one of these out and put another chainsaw in it, we're getting there. One more chainsaw. That's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it'll do for now. So let's swap that into our main wand spot, because being able to machine gun things is probably going to be a little bit more valuable to us. If I just put regular spitter bolts in there, is that better? It's definitely more mana manageable, because these guys all take 10 mana drain, that one only takes 5. So with this, we actually can fire with infinite refire. We don't burn the mana fast enough. Let's go with that for now. I'm going to save a couple more of these. The great thing about these chainsaws is that they only have 1 mana drain, so you can do a lot of good work with them fast. And I'm going to hold on to this in reserve, but I think I'm going to put it on this wand instead. We're going to take out the reduced recharge rate in case we want these for a wand later, because this actually does both recharge and cast delay, which is great. And I think the rest of this is all pretty junk. Do we have anything good in here? Black holes could be good. Drilling bolts could be good. More black holes. We're probably going to come back and take a look at one of those in a minute. First, let's come over here. We have Pinpointer, Living on the Edge, and Bouncing Spells. Bouncing Spells is a real problem for some wands, so we're probably going to avoid that one. What else have we got we can actually do here? Pinpointer is okay. Flying Faster is good for a wand like this, because it means they actually cover more distance. I don't normally take this one, but let's go ahead and take it, because we have Perk Lottery. We might be able to get more than one. We can get more than one. So now we have a little bit of extra range on our wand here, which is pretty handy. We could try and reroll, because I'm not a big fan of Living on the Edge or Bouncing Spells. If we do, we'll only have about 240 left here, which is enough to get the Black Hole wand, but not enough to get the drills. I don't really need the drills if I have the black holes, though, so I probably will just go for this. And this actually... no, the mana charge is terrible. See, that actually had some potential as an actually decent wand option, but... the incredibly low effect there... oh. Well, we're at full health, unfortunately, but thank you for the regeneration field. Could have been something good. So let's go ahead and re-roll this. This gives us Telekinetic Kick and Teleportitis Dodge. I actually hate this ability, so let's take the kick. Alright. So... yeah. Now, when we kick things, it pulls things to us, and then we can kick to throw them. So, this might be a fun ability to mess around with. Let's go ahead and take the Black Hole wand for now, so we have at least some way of digging, because right now we don't have any dig option. I'm just going to throw these out because I don't want them. And we'll see what's what. Actually, I kind of do maybe want them. Give me that triple scatter spell back. If I put this in here... that should make it fire even faster, because now all 3 drills fire at the same time instead of having to fire one after the other. So that should make it a little quicker even than it was before. And having the spread on it doesn't really matter. It's not like we're gonna be at a disadvantage because it's not firing in a perfect straight line for the chainsaw. Alright, so we're back on the main mission again, and the main mission is... can we find the fists? Because that's what we want. We're here looking for fists. If we can find 3 of them, then we should be able to actually explore the secret that I want to mess around with. So we'll see what we can get. I have to remember now that we have a pinpointer, so the laser beam doesn't necessarily mean a sniper is aiming directly at us. It might mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it. And we also have to remember that we have a chainsaw on here, so we can manually drill through the terrain if we so choose. It's not perfect, but it can drill. So we gotta remember that too. There was like a weird red effect that just pulsed in there. I don't know what that actually was. The only problem with our drilling is that the chainsaw is a little bit unreliable, specifically for consistently tunneling through all of the debris, so we probably don't want to have to rely on it as our main method of transportation. That's why we bought all those black holes. Let's make our way up. And around this way. So we should have decent firepower now. Robots are still going to be a little bit of a problem for us, but we'll see what we can do here. We're looking for... we're taking a ton of damage again already. We're looking mainly for add manas if we want to make our wands more crazy, but this should be good enough for general use as long as I don't take so much damage. As we have been apparently trying to in all these fights. Just getting absolutely shot up. Alright, the extra range on there from the faster shots did come in handy. We were able to take that guy out safely. Let's grab all this gold before it goes away. There's some more that went down the hole, but I'm gonna abandon that one because I don't know what's over there. We are already down to only 30 health, which is not going well. 19 health left. We have barely entered this floor, so this is not a very good start for us. Part of the problem is we've found basically no health ups other than the default ones, so it does make it a little bit difficult for us to start gearing up and becoming tougher if the game doesn't want to give us any of the thing that helps us do that. There's a health up, so if we can survive to get into there, that will make us more hardy in the future. There we go, 25 more max health is a nice little benefit. Let's pop some of this blood in our vial so we have more to put ourselves out with, and let's keep rolling. Blood also gives us extra crit chance, so having a blood stain on us is actually kind of handy. Now, still no hands found. I'm dead. Alright, this has not been my day for this game, unfortunately. We're having some real bad Noita luck. I think I'm gonna do one more try here. If we can't get a decent run that actually goes somewhere, we might switch over and play something else, because Noita is not being very cooperative today. There are some very cool things we can do in this game, but if the roguelike side of it decides that it is not today, then it can go bad so fast. Let's roll our way down the hill and see what's up here, because so far, not so good. What do we got? We got a water bottle this time, so that's better than nothing. Other than that, though, our starting wands is not that exciting. Alright, we're gonna roll over to the west, because generally the collapsed caverns have better stuff in them than the basic open space here. So, we're gonna make our way over to the west and see if we can find anything cool there. We are looking for things like this, large free heals early on. That's a nice little gift. If we can find the large towers of liquid, they often have treasure chests underneath them, which can mean that we can get some good little bits and pieces from them early on too. But that is not a given. There are often the large water towers that don't have anything in them. A little loading screen. Good to see you too. Yeah. Ah! That guy stole our wand! Not a very good wand. But we'll take it anyway. Thank you. Yeah, what I was going to say there is, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. I'm trying to get back into streaming first, and I'm hoping to start putting some of these videos from streams onto YouTube as videos on demand for later, as a sort of archive of them, and then maybe that'll help me get back into the flow of actually making YouTube videos again, too. Who knows? It is a tumultuous time in the job market, so we will see if we actually wind up needing this extra option to make up for maybe my normal job being less secure. Who knows, though? Who knows? Alright, there's a wand in there, so let's see if we can swing around and grab that. What is this? That's a pretty decent wand, actually. Giving us some magic arrows. I'll take it. So I'm gonna do FTL videos again. Yeah. Let's not make any claims about things like that, please. But, who knows. If I do, I would probably be playing Multiverse, not the original game. Just because I'm curious about what all is in that. But I don't know if it's actually likely that it would happen. There is another health in there, which is kind of crazy. You watched the Legends of Grimrock 2 series on YouTube? Yeah, I love that game. That was an absolute blast to play. I'm glad you enjoyed watching the series again. There's another health up in here. Okay, I guess the game heard me complaining. It's, being very generous with the stat ups all of a sudden. The Dwarf Fortress series is also great fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that series at the time. I'm just not driven to play Dwarf Fortress anymore, though. I picked it up on Steam, and I just didn't have the drive to actually experiment with it at all. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just, like, not in the brain space to try and play that kind of game right now, so... Hard to say. But yeah, my love for Grimrock is why I wanted to go back and play Vaporum, because I knew they were in a similar genre. I would say that Grimrock is still better, but a good experience all around. New play with the 1.0 release would be awesome. For Dwarf Fortress? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like... I tried to go and play it, and I was just like, I don't know. Wasn't in the mindset to actually deal with its shenaniganry. I do like the redesign, although I feel like the tutorial for it still doesn't really teach you anything. It's nice that it has one, but the kind of things that are going to make you successful are not the kind of things that were in there. Hey, Eisenhonig, just popping in here and there, no worries. Thanks for dropping by, I hope you have a good day. It is... always nice to see folks pop in, even if they're otherwise busy. So we're trying to go west here, so let's swing around back up the top. We have a lot of extra health compared to what we had before, and actually I might want to just scan this side real fast, because this area has been full of life ups. So let's do a quick check on the edge. There was something here, but it's gone now. Those little ones are usually potion bottles, though, rather than... anything bigger, so I'm guessing based on the water over here that it was probably a water potion, or that egg. Seems like secret buttons in Vaporum are not as findable as in Grimrock. Maybe. I mean, I think we found a good number of them. Having finished Vaporum now, I was looking back through the achievements list, and there is an achievement for finding every secret, which we didn't get. So we definitely missed some of them. But I have no idea how many or where, because the game doesn't give you, like, a completion tracker or anything at the end. Whiskey potion we'll leave behind. So some of them were definitely pretty well hidden. But I don't know if it was just a matter of, like, not knowing what it was. I feel like maybe the hardest one to see was the secret button near the end of Vaporum behind the laser emitter. That one, I only barely noticed as being out of place. So of the ones that we found, that might be my winner for least visible secret. But given that we didn't find them all, there are probably others that were... Oh, that is a potentially crazy wand. Let's grab that, thank you. And swing our way back around. Because this guy... The spells that are in it aren't great, but that 10-7 Castellet recharge time means we can do some crazy stuff with it if we can get a little bit of reduction option from anything. A single chainsaw, a single luminous beam, for example, gives us some power there. And finish watching the Vaporum playthrough. Grimrock had a lot more riddles leading towards secrets. Yes, I would say that is definitely true. Although Grimrock 2 definitely had more of that. Grimrock 1 was a little bit more like there are puzzles that are just, did you find the button? In the same vial as... lost my word on that sentence. Vein? In the same vein as Grimrock and Vaporum. But Grimrock 2 had a lot more fancy riddles and puzzles to solve, for sure. Alright, let's blow our way through that wall and see what that wand has. Maybe not. Turns out there was another layer of wall between us and the wand. Well, if we kick this... Ooh, that's two very fast frogs. And frogs are scary when they're speedy. Because frogs do damage based on how fast they're moving. So when they move faster than normal, that makes them hurt more. So we gotta be very careful about those frogs. I don't think I have a good way to avoid them if I want to come up here. Can we just snipe them from above before they have the chance to murder us? I can't quite hit them from here. There we go, there's one. There's two. Oh, that's a lot of frogs. I love me a good frog, but not when they're coming at us at Mach 20. Alright. We're through that area, not frogged to death just yet. I think the interesting thing about Grimrock as well compared to Vaporum is that Grimrock's... Oh, that's... potentially good, potentially very bad. Ow! Ow! Our bones! Oh, I went the wrong way. We might be dead here. Yeah, well... Alright, I called it! This is our last run. The game wanted to murder us. This is not working for the kind of things that I want to do. So I think we're gonna play something else for a little bit here. Such is the cost of roguelikes. Some days they just say, no, you are dead. That's fine though. Give me a couple seconds here to get things switched around. I don't have a good, like, I'm in the middle of switching screen, but I'll put that one on here first. Alright. I think what I want to do is mess around with another very silly game that is also a roguelike, but it's a very different kind of roguelike. And I don't know if it'll be fun to watch, so you'll have to let me know if it's interesting or not. But I like it. There's another game I want to play, but I probably want to give that its own stream later. So let's bring this up here, switch it over in the game panel. Is this working? Yeah, Peglin! All right, let's just change the title and the category too. What is happening? I think the game is using the keyboard inputs even though I'm typing out of the window. Let me go ahead and see if I can fix that real quick. Stop. Back out. Can I type without you doing things? There we go. And that. And this. Okay, we're playing Peglin. Peglin is a very silly little game, and I am all about it. So let's jump in here with a new game. Peglin is a cross between Peggle and a roguelike, where you're fighting monsters and going on adventures. We're going to play around here as the Roundrill, which just means that we have a different starting ability than the basic class. This is the one I played most of the game with. This crucible thing in the top left here is basically how much worse the game is. Each version of it makes the world more terrible. And now that I'm up to like 11 on here, it's very hard to win and run as the Peglin. But I've unlocked, they've added some extra classes in a recent update. There's like a warrior class, there's like a, I don't know, gadgeteer, alchemist something over here, and a rogue. And so right now I've just been messing around with the rogue. So let's jump in here and I'll show you what it's all about. So, we have a couple of starting items to choose from. I actually don't really like any of these. So, that's a little tough. At least we'll take gunpowder for now. So, we give ourselves a map. We're going to be descending down the map from top to bottom, and you can never go back up. You know, as you're just going through one node each time. And we're playing a Peggle kind of deal here. So we have enemies along the top. That's where we are. We are going to be basically throwing our orbs into the pegs in order to do a couple of things simultaneously. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it started here. I usually play with the speed up at double so that it goes a little bit faster, because otherwise it can take a long time for the game to resolve. But as you can see, as we throw things around the arena, it interacts with the battle on the top. So our these yellow pegs have money in them, so they'll contribute to our gold in the top right. The bombs need to be hit twice to explode, but once they are blowing up, they'll do 50 damage to everything on the top. And every time we hit a peg, it modifies the damage of our final throw by the numbers on the left here. So you can see, like, every time we hit something, it shows the number going up. That's telling us the final damage that throw is going to do. Now, we also have this Roundriloquist's ability, and it means that whenever we hit anything, it applies a random buff. So this guy has an effect of blind on him, and he also had an effect of not being able to move, which is why he didn't catch up. We can change the one we're targeting by clicking on them, and sometimes click in the wrong place and it causes the ball to launch, but you know, we deal with these things. And basically, we're just trying to kill all of the enemies and survive. Once we do, there's always a shop option at the end, which will generally give us the ability to buy a new orb, and the ability to upgrade our existing orbs. All orbs have 3 tiers of upgrades, where they get better in some various ways as we go. So, the orbs we have now aren't very special. This one does a lot of damage when you crit, and almost no damage otherwise, and these are just rocks. They don't have any special properties. They're kind of just your bad starting orb. So, if we can find something fun here, we can probably make something good happen. Ballad is interesting. It means our crits do more damage. Every time we throw one of these, it gives us an effect that makes the crit damage modifier go up faster. And I made a very fun run recently with a bunch of these. So let's go ahead and try this. I don't know if it's going to work out this run, but let's upgrade that once as well. So it takes all of our starting money here, and now we have to choose where to go next. So the interesting thing about this is we can see the map in advance. So we can decide like if there's anything we want to go to. These are shops. These are random events. These are more dangerous enemies that give you a free perk at the end. Treasure chests are just a free perk straight up. And the boss is the bottom. So ideally, we want to kind of go down this area and probably go like this to make our way through all the stuff we actually want without having to go to tiles we can't get anything out of. But in order to actually navigate, you have to throw the orb into the tunnel. Why can't I click this? Weird. Must have been under the header or something. you actually have to throw the orb into that space. And while there's still money on the map, I can hit those coins to pick them up. So we're just going to jump down the exit on the right-hand side here, but if you're trying to maximize your gold, you can. It just means you have the risk of going in the wrong space. So we might wind up going down the path we don't want to do and losing some of the abilities we want. So for now, we're just going to try and murder some slimes. There's a bunch of bombs in the middle of this map, so if we're careful here, we should be able to pick up some of the money from the sides before they get close enough to actually hurt us, and then use the bombs in the center to fry all of the slimes at once. So, we'll see if that works out this time, but it should work out okay for us. There's our fancy new orb. That's actually going to kill every slime. So, nice and easy. We can buy another ballad already. Almost all of the ball names are puns. The Reorbanizer, the Roundabout, the Ballad. It's actually a ballad. So be prepared for a lot of puns in this game. If we're aiming to maximize our crit damage, though, just getting more and more of these is pretty darn good. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that one. We do want to make sure we go out the left-hand side here. I guess it doesn't matter that much. So let's just hit these. And we went right where we wanted. If we land in the fire in the area select, you wind up taking extra damage, so it's not great if that happens to you, but it's not a whole lot of damage, so as long as it isn't happening repeatedly, you're usually okay. In order to make a crit happen, you have to hit one of these exclamation mark orbs, as you can see because of the way it changes the color of everything and changes what your actual damage output is. Like this. Now we're in the crit state, and since we have one level of Spiness, we gain an extra damage on our crits. And that'll continue to apply as we hit more of these. So, after this one goes off, it'll go up to 3. So now our crits are even more powerful if we can actually make them happen. The only downside is, if we don't actually hit a crit, we're still doing our regular damage, so it's not gonna necessarily scale as fast as we might like. One more hit should take this guy out. And we have a lot of firepower for this one here, so we should be fine. Nice. A couple more options here on what to buy. Spinfection is pretty cool. It basically poisons enemies. Fireballs can blow things up in one shot, which otherwise most orbs need to do more with, but it hurts you to shoot them. And this is the same dag orb we had before. I think what we're going to do, rather than buying more orbs right now, is invest in our existing Spiness orbs, because the faster that they can ramp up our crit damage, the more we'll be able to do with it. So let's put one upgrade in there and swing down the right-hand side. We want to get over here, but question mark spaces can be harder to control. Ah, we find a waterfall just off the path. What secrets might it be hiding? Let's check behind the waterfall and go from there. I believe, Vermilion Fire, you will see that we've updated the game in Twitch, so it should now say that we're playing Peglin. If it didn't, I just hit the done button again to try and reload it there. But yeah, we had some terrible Noita luck, so we're playing Peglin now. Ring of Indignation is okay. When we take damage, it hurts all the enemies, but it's not super reliable. Don't worry, it's working right? Okay, good. Good. Now, the only problem with these is it's a lot easier in some of these sets to get launched down the wrong path. So it looks like we got lucky this time. Now we have an option to duplicate an orb, which is handy. Unfortunately, if we had one of these already maxed out at level 3, we'd be able to duplicate it into a new level 3 orb, but I decided to balance them instead of maximize them, so we'll go ahead and duplicate another ballad. Peglin cope, seriously. We're not having the best runs, so I was like, rather than get mad at this, I'm just gonna change games. We're gonna go fight a boss over here. These mini-bosses are gonna be much more dangerous damage-wise than the enemies that we were fighting previously, so we may wind up taking a fair bit of damage here that might make it difficult to survive the final step, but if we can beat them, we will get a nice little prize out of it for our trouble. And if we can start ramping our Spiness here, then we should be able to clear them out pretty fast, assuming that these exclamation mark blocks don't spawn in the worst possible place every time, which is a potential problem. Every time the round rolls over, the exclamation marks randomize their position. the refreshes that reset all the pegs don't randomize in the same way, so they're often a little bit less unpredictable, but that doesn't actually make them better, because sometimes they can get stuck in a place that's really hard to hit, and when that happens, you can't refresh the board. So you can be stuck struggling to clear out the tiles to be able to actually not die. We'll see what happens this run here if we run into any of those particular cases ourselves, but hopefully we'll be okay. This guy goes down pretty easy, and we should get a choice of a prize after we choose what to do with our orbs. So let's finish upgrading these spinesses, these ballads. Every time we choose to do an upgrade, the next one gets more expensive, so you can do a bunch at one place if you so choose, but it ramps up in cost pretty fast. And we always have a chance to heal ourselves after every round too. We probably don't need it yet, but I'm going to start investing a little bit into our life so we don't wind up in a position later where we're doomed. The duplication potion is pretty interesting because it means that we spawn a lot more exclamation marks and refreshes, but they don't actually contribute to damage when you hit them, so they can be dangerous to have too many of them on the map. Intentional oboe, on the other hand, means that if we take damage, we take one less. It's basically 1 point of armor. It's a pretty good item. I'm going to take that one. It's less valuable if you're fighting an enemy that hits you for like 40 damage every time, but it's very good if you're hitting several times by multiple enemies on the same map. So, since we're almost certainly going to run into that problem later, I'm going to go ahead and invest in it now. This is a tricky little spot to be in. We have a couple different choices. We're probably going to want to go for this crit option in the middle, but these are non-mobile pegs. This is more like a pachinko machine than the otherwise is. I don't know if we want this. We're building for big crits, so it could be okay, and having the echo on there could be very good, so I guess I'll take it. There are ways to remove orbs from your board, but it's a little bit tricky. So this is a really dangerous one to have here, because it's really important that we can go right, right, right. Otherwise, we'll miss out on this treasure chest, and potentially more, depending on whether these other exclamation marks cooperate. So we really want to try and go right here and not left. Okay, we're good. What do we have in here? Suffer to the Sling. This just upgrades all of our generic rocks. That's a pretty nice upgrade because they don't do a whole lot on their own normally, so now they're 1 basic damage and 2 crit damage stronger. This is a mean one. So if we choose sprint and dodge, random navigation doesn't mean it'll take us here or here. It'll take us anywhere in this line. So we don't really want the thing it's going to give us on the alternative, but if we want to go over here, we kind of have to take Embrace the Lightning. And Embrace the Lightning will give us another orb. We're struck by lightning. You shiver as the energy courses through you, but it harmlessly congeals in your satchel in the form of a ball lightning. Ball lightning's okay, it just doesn't really do what we're looking for right now. And the more different orbs we have in our inventory, the less likely it is that we're going to get the ones that buff our arsenal. So it kind of counter-synergizes against what we got going here. This is just an upgrade for bombs. Bombs deal more damage. We'll take that. Now we got a boss to fight. Alright, we got a wall of slimes and a big slime at the end. This guy hits really hard if he gets to us, so we kind of want to clear all of these out quickly and give us time to fight him before he gets to sneak all the way across the board. This is going to be basically useless this round because there's no damage done. What Echo does is it gives 30% of the damage of the previous throw to this throw, but when it's our first throw, there is no damage for it to be echoing, so we can just kind of throw it away because it can't do anything. Yeah, the enemy designs are really good. There are some weirder ones as we get further into the game. There are some kind of horrifying monstrosities in some areas, but most of them are very cute. Now, we do want to try and land some crits here so we can do some damage, because like I was saying, we want to kill this guy before he gets all the way over to us, and right now, we are not doing a good job of that. There are bombs in the middle here that'll help us clear out the little guys faster, but we have to actually hit them for them to work for our favor. And this is actually one of the places where the lightning can be helpful, because what lightning does is it hits nearby tiles as well. In this case, it didn't kind of do what I was hoping it would do, but If we can hit any of these other bombs, it'll make a big step towards clearing this out. The problem is this monkey face that we're dealing with here is quite of a nasty target because it's all circles pointing away from the middle, which means it's very easy to get bounced away from the things you're trying to dig into, like these bombs. This should do the trick, though. This is why we're investing in our crits, because that did 378 damage, which is amazing. So far it's working out in our favor, but we gotta make sure we keep doing this thing. So, this Critsobalos guarantees a crit whenever you hit enough different targets. This could be good with our build because it makes sure that crits are happening. But I think for right now, it's going to be more valuable for us to upgrade the orbs we've already got to maximize the value of what's happening in our deck. Activated crits also refresh the board. That could be good. When you would gain max health, increase the amount gained by 1. That's probably less valuable to us with the thing we're doing right now, so let's go ahead and take the Heavy Shaft Potion. We have one more free item here. Let's see if we can grab a little bit of money on the way down. And we're going in the fire. Womp womp. That's fine. At least we get the money. That'll help make sure we can buy more things when we have the opportunity to later. And we have Navigationflation. It looks like some of these have been renamed since the last time I've seen them. Navigationflation means that any gold we pick up after the fight is over is worth 4 times as much. Alright, we made it to the first boss. We are fighting a mole and a tree. In order to actually hurt the boss, they have to be in front of us, and they will move around occasionally to make that happen. But it does mean that a lot of the time we aren't going to be able to hit them, and the tree is going to be blocking the damage for the boss. Now, it has one big problem to it, which is that if we wind up burning all of our opportunity to do damage when the boss is not vulnerable, it means that it can be hard to actually land hits when they are vulnerable. But looks like we got pretty lucky here. One of the things is every time the boss moves, he leaves behind one of these little spitter guys. And that can be a problem, because normally they're going to be absorbing our shots, they can also shoot us, and the bombs that we have, every time the boss moves, it'll move one bomb back onto the tree, only do 50 damage, but they have 60 health. So under normal circumstances, that actually isn't enough to be able to kill one of those if you only have one bomb available. Thankfully, we have that, this one, the Perfected Reactant, which means that our bombs do 15 extra damage, so it can actually kill these guys in one shot. But it could be a real problem if you don't have a bomb upgrade and you're dealing with a lot of those guys. So he's gonna be toast. But this fight can go a lot differently if you're less lucky. This is a really cool orb. It turns the pegs that you're hitting into bombs. So if you're building some bomb synergy, like we have here with the extra damage, you can do a lot with this. But we're going for a more crit synergy build here, I think. So I think we're gonna hold on to what we've got for now. But yeah, the Bob Orb is obscenely good. I have made some ridiculous builds with that before. It was just not what we're going for this time. Every time you beat a boss, you get one of these special relics optioned, and they're usually pretty good, but do something else to you also. This one means that all of your base attacks do -2, -3, which is very low, but it means that the pegs you hit become more powerful. This one replaces all bombs with red bombs, which also doubled enemies twice as much, but red bombs hurt you. So that can kill you really fast if you're hitting a lot of bombs on the same level. And the Electropegnate here, the glorious suffering, the Sappersack. The Electropegnate here just means that bombs and refreshes and crits become magnets. And since we want to hit the crits, this is pretty good. It will mean that red bombs are more likely to kill us later, because we're more likely to hit all of them. But we'll take it, and we'll go from there. Hey Luke, hope you're doing well. So this map, just while we're here, looks like we're probably going to go down the right-hand side and then loop back around the right-hand side again. Basically, try and capitalize on as many of the things that'll give us relics as possible, because those often are the things that shape your run here. Let's do a little bit of damage on this one. So now we're into stage 2, and in here, the enemies start having some extra characteristics that we're gonna have to deal with. None of them here, I don't think, are gonna actually have that effect, but some of them are going to start having shields, which will absorb damage until we can either push through them and do more. And that can be a problem, because we don't necessarily have a good way to do a lot of piercing damage in our current setup. This is often a problem with the way that I build my folks in this, my goblins in this game. So we'll see exactly how it plays out. Now, when they change the one who's in front, even if we leave our target on the person in the back like this, it doesn't change the fact that we can only hit the person in a straight line here. Yeah, Magnet used to be very pulley. There used to be a bunch of those movement control abilities that would just be obscenely powerful, and they've changed them a little bit to be less one-sided if you happen to have those. But there's a lot of silly shenanigans that can still happen here. We do need some healing perks, which is why I'm pushing so hard to try and get to all of these perk options, because right now, if we take damage, the only way to heal it is by spending our gold at the end of the run, which is fine, but it's not a very good long-term efficiency option. Jack Orb Lantern is interesting. When it goes at the bottom, it comes back to the top again. We have a lot of money now, but we know we're going to be going to a store later, because this is ideally where we want to try and stop before we go back to the right. So having some extra money here means you can buy some good stuff, because every store always has 4 purchasable relics in it. So if you have at least 200 money by the time you get there, you can buy some good stuff from those. We have an option here to do some more spending. We could level up our Echo Orb, because that 60% echo can be a lot of damage, and it hits all enemies, which is going to be something useful in this area in particular. I don't know if we want to keep this necessarily long-term, but given that we're starting to level up all of our Spiness to max level, it's probably going to be better for us to have more of these options. We're going to swing down the right-hand side here and see what we can get. Ooh. We stumble into a strange mirror with shadows flickering in the reflection. You're drawn closer and closer until your nose is nearly touching the glass. The shadows are speaking a language you've never heard before, but you understand their offer. So we can remove all the orbs, which replaces our entire inventory with a single new orb called an Ouroboros, or Ouroboros? I can't remember how they spell it. It's very powerful, but we've got a lot of orbs we're invested in already, so I'm not going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to remove one of these rocks that are not giving us a whole lot right now. So I could remove the lightning instead, actually. Yeah, I don't think I want the lightning. I'm going to remove that. And let's keep going. Yeah, Ouroboros is an incredible orb. I just don't want to use it in this run. We have a grabby hand. So when you're aiming at enemies in the air, normally you aim at them up, which makes it really hard to hit anything that pierces. But this makes it all enemies are attacked horizontally. Not super useful for the kind of orbs we have, but you never know. Going right here gives us 2 locations, but going left gives us a boss, which means we're all guaranteed to get a relic as long as we don't die. So we're going to come in here and try and fight whatever this is. It always gives us the Echo Orb first. That's the worst place for the Echo Orb to be. So this guy's gonna grabby hand wobble his way over to us and then try and murder us. So hopefully we can kill him before that happens. Thankfully he's slow, but when he gets to us we are in trouble. So we're gonna try and prevent that from happening as best we can. We need a couple rounds here to ramp up our damage. To real full power, when all of our Spiness orbs are at the bottom, this is the downside of having a bigger inventory. It becomes a lot easier for you to get stuck without the firepower boosters or the synergy pieces that your setup needs. But he's slow enough that we should have plenty of time. Yeah, look at that grabby hand wobble. Now I think his animation actually, yeah. All the animations speed up because we have the game on double speed, so things that look a little weird like that look extra weird because they're going twice as fast as they should. But I find playing it with the game on double speed makes it so much more bearable when you have an orb bouncing around for a long time. So we're just gonna leave it with that turned on, thank you. Even if it does look a little goofy. There we go. We're still clearing our way through here at good pace. Let's go ahead and level up our Echo Orb to 100% Echo, because that makes it very powerful if it comes after one of our big crit turns. Now we have 2 dust options. Bombs apply Spinfection 1 when damaging enemies, or bombs apply Blind 1 when damaging enemies. Blind 1 is awful. Spinfection 1 is free damage, so we're going to take that one. Easy pick. Since Spinfection does 10 damage to everything it hits, it's basically just free damage for everything. This, I'm not a big fan of. I think they made this less bad. If we flip the chip a couple of times, we'll eventually get a poker chip relic, which puts a random score multiplier at the bottom of every lane. But this has killed so many of my runs with the old version of it. I don't take it anymore. I think I saw in a patch note that they made it less awful, but I still can't trust it anymore. It's just was so bad for so long that it's so hard to use. Now if we can get some of these bombs to go off, we'll be able to see what that new Spinfection effect does. It doesn't look much different, but it will make it more powerful. And this is what I was talking about with the shields. We just fried that one off him by hitting him with enough damage directly, but these shields have their own health bar, and a normal projectile attack has to break the shield before you can hit the enemy hiding behind it. So that can cause problems pretty fast if you have a difficult time getting through there, because the shields also take less damage than regular enemies do. So it can really cause problems quickly for you. Alright. We're going to save the rest of our money until we get to that shop we're aiming for. We don't need to heal just yet, so we're good. So this is the one. Assuming we get in there, we'll have our choice of some nice upgrades. Don't have quite enough money to be able to buy everything that we want, but that's handy, because this is actually no good for us. We're aiming for crits all the time anyway, so having a basic blade that makes our regular non-crit attacks more damaging doesn't actually help us. Bombs detonating in one hit and extra bombs on the map are very nice, though, and this is probably good enough to take too. For now, though, we're going to grab both of the bomb synergy ones, because we have a couple of nice bomb effects in place now. And I'm probably going to pay to remove one of these low-level rocks instead of buying the Eye of Turtle. Eye of Turtle is pretty good, though. We're still early enough in the game to have a couple of choices to take advantage of it, so I guess I'll grab that one too. We don't need to get rid of the rocks that badly. Yeah, that'll do. That gives us a couple of nice upgrades. Yeah, they've updated a lot of stuff here since the last time I've played it even. We want to try and go down the right-hand side, but since we didn't buy the basic blade, everything you don't buy leaves a box behind in the exit of the map, so it's a little bit more difficult to get out the side we want because the ball's more likely to ricochet over here, but we got what we were looking for. So now that we have that Eye of Turtle, most of these things that aren't chests will give us more choices. Every 4 shots starts with 1 multi-ball. Wow, that seems like a crazy item. So multi-ball kind of does what you expect it to. It means that your shot will split into 2 orbs, and normally there's a pretty big cost for being able to get multi-ball like that, but having it just inherently on your first 4 shots could be really good. I don't know if it means that we'll get extra spiness. Like if we multi-ball this, will it give us 6 spiness instead of 3 since we have a multi-ball here? No, still just 3. That's what I figured. So, this guy is interesting. Every time a turn happens, he gains shield that increases based on the number of turns that he's been alive. So he can ramp up to be very hard to kill if you aren't dealing enough damage to him quickly. Thankfully, each bomb we hit him with puts some poison on him, and that helps us tear through some of that shield for now. But we will need to make sure we're actually still hitting these crit effects, otherwise our damage is not going to ramp up fast enough, and we are having a hard time hitting them right now because the magnets keep pulling our orbs away. So we might be in a little bit of trouble here if we can't make one of these land soon. Please just hit the crit. There we go. That'll toast them. Done and dusted. Some interesting options here. The Swashbuckle Orb can be very good, because what it does is every time you pick up money, it adds the damage multiplier again, multiple times. So if you can hit a lot of money early on, it just does crazy damage. But that's not really what we're built for. I might grab another one of these ballads, though, because we are building for that crit bonus, and that'll give us some more of it. Prime Rod of Frost. Projectiles pierce one enemy. That's very good. Whenever you heal lost health, deal damage to the targeted enemy. We don't have any way to heal right now, so that's not very good. And attacks gain one non-crit damage for every crit on the board. We want to be critting all the time anyway, so we're just going to take the Prime Rod of Frost. Alright, let's keep moving. Grab a little bit of money on the way out and see where we go. It's just a battle. So these guys are mages that can both attack and heal their allies, so they can be a little bit of a hazard to us. Looks like they're all going to explode, though. Having the bombs explode in an area means that they can trigger each other, and as a result, we can do an absolutely obscene amount of damage with some of these stacked bombs early on. Because this is going to blow up both of them if I hit either, but this time it didn't quite happen. That's fine. We are just smashing our way through these guys, which is great. That didn't go where I wanted it to go at all, but thanks, game. If I get one of these on this side, we're more likely to hit the crit, and then they are all going to explode. Nice. Another crit-a-ball here. This is an interesting one because every attack with it is always a crit, and it has the effect where it turns other tiles into crit tiles. That could be a good piece of synergy with our board too, because it makes it more likely we're going to hit crits, and I believe after we turn things into crits, they stay on the board and start moving around with the others. So it's not like the other one, that perk we had earlier where it turns things into crits every time they move, because then the whole board can become crits and you lose everything on their damage. Whereas this one only converts them when you're actually attacking. It does have the chance to convert a lot of stuff, though, which makes it a little dangerous. I think I'm probably just going to leave it, because as of right now, we haven't had a hard time hitting our crit modifier most of the time anyway. We're going to go for a quick heal, though, because we're getting a little low on health, and we are getting close to the bottom of the board. We have our boss fight in 2 rounds here. Grab a little bit of money and get out of here. All right, the puppet. The sock puppet here means that the first time we take damage, we don't. That's whether enemies attack us or whether it comes from self-damage effects. And in this case, that's gonna be real good. We are fighting a ballista, and the ballista hurts. Of course we get our Echo Orb first. It's so rude! Why is it always the first orb? But now that we have a good block for the first shot here, we should be able to do a bit of work. Unfortunately, we're using all of our bombs on the first throw, which is not what we want, because in this one, these like bucket-headed guys will constantly spawn and attack us. And if they get in front of the trebuchet, they'll block, the ballista rather, they'll block our attacks. So being able to hit the bombs here to actually stop that from happening can make a big difference. Is this every 4th attack is an orb, not... Oh! I thought it said the first 4 shots start with 1 multi-ball, but it's actually every 4th shot has a multi-ball. Interesting. That's not what I understood there, but I see now how I was wrong. So we need to keep clearing through this. Unfortunately, all of our crit targets are at the bottom of the board this time, which is that was a terrible shot too. Which has not been very helpful for us refreshing everything, but there we go. Now we should be able to do a bit of damage. Unfortunately, there's a guy in front, but thankfully we have the piercing effect, so it doesn't matter if just one enemy is in front of us. There's lots of money in here, too, for us to grab if we can hit those bombs, but it seems like we've managed to ricochet our way through without being able to hit them. We have that confusion effect on us because we've been slapped by the ballista, and that just means that we can't actually control our aim, but we should be fine here. He's got 1 hit left in him, so as long as we can hit a crit with this orb, yeah, he's definitely toast now. Looking good. There's another ballad if we want to keep ramping up our crit damage. The nice thing about this is we probably should get that. The more things we can have that pump up our damage, the more likely we'll be to be able to survive nasty things later. Ooh, look at the Matryoshka shell. Every shot has 1 multi-ball, but attacks get -2/-2. That's pretty good. We also have Glorious Suffering again. We have Consuming Chalice, which means there's 1 less refresh on the board, but more crit damage. And Defresh Potion. All orbs get Morbid, but boards contain 1 less refresh. Defresh Potion is also incredible. While we have 2 refreshes on the board by default, this just means Morbid means that if your orb passes through an orb that's been hit already, it triggers it again. And you can do some crazy work with this, especially with our high crit chance and magnet. So Matryoshka means every orb always splits into 2, and some of them will split again with the duplication station. But Defresh Potion means we can fry the entire board based on orbs we've already hit. So I'm inclined to take this one this time. Matryoshka would be cool, but Defresh Potion is so good at this stage. So we're going to take that and roll with it. This is the final area. There's only 3 floors currently. But things in here get a lot nastier. So there's the split on us. These somewhat invisible enemies are going to dash over to us quite quickly and start trying to stab us up. So we're going to try and prevent that from happening by blowing them up before they can do it. Unfortunately, the black holes on the sides of the map will pull our orbs away from them. We don't lose anything if they fall out the side instead of at the bottom. You just don't get to continue collecting more points. So you gotta be careful about when they go in there if you can. Finish upgrading our ballads, and I think we keep moving on. There's a fair amount of money still left in here. There's a couple of shops moving early on, and then I think we probably want to go down this lane. Could go either way, though, really. Let's see if we can grab a little bit of this extra money. I only got 2 extra coins, but that does turn into 8 because we have that navigation-flation. So, we stumble upon a mysterious altar. You feel yourself pulled towards it, and as you near it, you realize you're holding up potential offerings. 1 orb in each hand. So what you're doing here is you're destroying 1 orb to level up the other one. So we're going to destroy a pebble to level up our dagger. You go to place the pebble on the altar, but it sinks right into the solid slab of stone. As your offering disappears, you feel your other hand grow warm and realize your dagger orb is now level 2. Not a huge difference for us, really, but I'll take the upgrade on it. I think we're probably going to try and go to this shop. Oh, but there are 2 chests over here. If we go to this shop, we can't go here. Well, let's just go somewhere for now. We'll figure out where we want to go from there. There's a lot of question mark tiles, so we might not have a lot of opportunities to get money. Although, if we get things like this, we can. So this is an interesting enemy. This is just a mirror, and he has a reflect effect on him, which currently reflects 6% of damage we deal to him. If we kill him, he doesn't reflect anything. But if we don't kill him, he's going to hit us very hard based on how hard we hit him. I think he's dead, though. Yeah. Good fight. The other interesting thing about mirror fights is they mean that whenever you hit something on one side, it also gets hit on the other, like you might have seen there. Oh, this might be an orb for us. So this orb is affected by Spiness twice, and we have all of our other abilities here build up Spiness. So that might be some serious damage dealing for us. I haven't tried one of these before, but yeah, we're gonna grab this, thank you very much. That is an orb for us. Let's go ahead and level it up again. We level up a 3rd time, it'll make the Spiness apply 3 times, which is the real shenanigans. If activating each crit twice doesn't actually do anything for us yet, as far as I know, but the damage potential is crazy high here. So let's go ahead and upgrade that one. Now, if we can get 1 or 2 more of those, we will be absolutely laughing. For now, I think we're just going to try and go down the left-hand side. I don't have enough money to make going to the shop really valuable right now. Well, here's a bunch of spiders and weird eye bats. If we can do a little bit of damage here early on, though, we should be in a pretty good spot. The piercing and the bombs adding poison is very helpful. These interesting webs are not just, like, visually flashing, they actually don't exist when you can't see them. So, it's easy to wind up having the orb go through things that it should be hitting just because of the fact that... What? Just because of the fact that they don't exist when you fire the shot. Are these bats immune to normal attacks? Not immune to bombs, so he'll die either way, but that was weird. We're gonna buy another one of these ballads, because that's what we're here built for. We're gonna level up spin points, because that gives it maximum firepower. And I'm gonna grab another ballad, because it's already level 2, so that takes less to level it up all the way. Let's see about going down the right-hand side here. I think we're gonna avoid all the shops this time. Just keep our money for buying more orbs and upgrading more orbs. Unfortunately, the game really likes giving our combo pieces first. That is a tiny little orb though, isn't it? Tiny little guy. Doesn't do any good to use him first though, so we're gonna discard it and try and get closer to using the orbs that are actually gonna help us kill these things. Unfortunately, this one does have red bombs in it, so we may be taking a lot of unnecessary damage here, but you can see what I mean. Morbid does insane damage. That one got up to 1,300 damage by bouncing through the bodies there, and we didn't even have any of our spiness leveled up yet. It just does crazy things when everything is actually vulnerable. Because every time it ticks through all of these, it ticks the damage up again. It's wild. Alright. Let's see what we can do here to this last guy. He should go down pretty easy. He might take 2 shots, but probably shouldn't take more than that. Now we have Echo, and the Echo isn't going to be super powerful on this one because we didn't do a ton of damage with the previous shot, but it'll still help us scale up faster. If we can hit any of those crits, we'll absolutely fry everything. Yep. There we go, 1,200 damage. What do we have here? We have a fully upgraded Ball Lightning. We have an ice circle here that blinds enemies and pierces through them if it crits. That might be nice, actually, for us. Having more piercing attacks can be good. The Prime Rod of Frost makes it a little bit less relevant, though, so I guess I'm just going to leave it this time. I don't know. We're going to upgrade the Ballad, at least. Get that up to max. Do I want this? The problem is there's only one of them, and our bag is getting pretty full of orbs, so the likelihood we're going to get any of these, like, specific one-of orbs is pretty low. I guess I'll take it. It could still be useful, so we'll grab it. We're going to try and avoid going to the shop, because we don't have any money left. This is an interesting one. So this guy has 131 health, but he has an effect here that stops him from taking more than 1 damage. So every time we hit an orb, we'll be able to tick 1 damage on him, but it doesn't actually do much overall. So if we just, incidentally, we start with the Echo Orb again, first, right? Every time. It's wild how that happens so consistently. So we kind of have to fry our way through him like this. But unfortunately for him, we are very good at doing lots of attacks. So he's going to be dead in short order here. I've actually never seen this guy hit us, so I don't know how badly he hurts, because he just dies so fast. Let's grab another spin point. The more of those we have, the more likely we're actually going to be able to use them. Level it up once, and let's keep rolling. So we want to go over to the right-hand side here, but unfortunately, they really don't want us to do that. There we go, we made it work. What's in the box? Adventurine. The first peg hit gets plus 10. So that means it'll do 10 more damage on the next time it's hit. That is actually pretty powerful for us here. Now, I think we want to go down this one, yeah. So let's swing over to the right-hand side. It doesn't make a huge difference. What's in this chest? Refreshes the board on every reload. Well, that's not going to be great for us. If you've been Borum, I'm bad at games. We've been Peglin, I'm too good at games. Is that how this goes? We're on. The reason I'm able to laugh so much is because we're on low Crucible level. The game gets way harder once we start getting up the Crucible. You find what looks like Haglin standing motionless on your path. Something about it gives you the creeps, but they seem to be offering the same services as usual. Haglin's a little shop friend, but this one is an evil version that will give us the same abilities in exchange for health instead of for money. So we can upgrade one of our orbs, which I think we'll do. Done. Consider it done. You're less than thrilled with the price that was paid, but your spin point level 2 has been in fact upgraded to spin point level 3. Time for a boss fight. This might be the weird... Okay, this one is the one where I hope we can make use of this crit effect. Because there are a lot of enemies in here. We just can't see them. So we're gonna have to try and do some damage here by ramping up our spiness really quickly and then maximizing the damage on the actual ice circle here. Now, we will see exactly how well this works, because we don't have a whole lot of piercing damage yet. You can see we're starting to take damage from all of these guys as we're getting hit, because we have the Ring of Indignation here. What we really need is to hit a crit with this, please game. Thank you. Now we should be able to blast all of these fools with the power of the ice circle. They're not dead. This is why it's so dangerous in here. There's a lot of them, we can't see them, and there might be more coming that we still can't tell where they are. Thankfully, we do pretty good damage now with all of this spiness additions to our firepower. We got him. Nice. So, Signal Boost Orb is another one we might want to grab. It has the same kind of effect as our little focus guy. Every time we have any of these effects, it applies twice, 3 times, and 4 times, which makes this just crazy with a big buff set like this. So let's grab that and upgrade it. We're getting some serious punch on some of these guys. Heal 1 for every 12 pegs activated is great. This one's no good. We have too many different orbs mixed in. It's a great ability if you have a very similar set of things in your inventory, but for now, Popping Corn is going to give us some actual healing, which will be very nice. I don't know what happened there, why those pegs didn't pop, but we'll deal with it. Strange Brew is nice. It means our refresh and our crits contribute to damage instead of contributing nothing to them other than adding the multiplier, so we'll take that. We stumble into a strange mirror with shadows flickering in the reflection. You're drawn closer and closer until your nose is nearly touching the glass. The shadows are speaking a language you've never heard before, but you understand their offer. We can duplicate every orb, or we can duplicate a random orb for more health. I think we're just going to duplicate every orb. I mean, our inventory is pretty good. Almost all the orbs we want are already upgraded. Duplicating all of them is going to give us an absolutely massive backpack, but I'm fine with it. Let's do it. All our orbs have been doubled. We have one more chance to do something here. This is not quite what I was hoping for. I guess we're going to remove one of the extra rocks we just put in there. And that's all we can afford. Time to go fight the final boss and see how it goes. So... this guy is an interesting fight. They rotate every time, and each of the 4 of them does something different. These 2 I think are the same. One of them heals and one of them buffs. Either way, we'll be able to see what happens once we actually get the game underway. Yeah, one of them heals, one of them buffs their damage so that every attack now does more, and the other 2 are just like firepower. So what we really need here is to start hitting some of our crits. There we go. And now we can start annihilating them. It's good to be a little OP sometimes. These poor guys aren't going to stand a chance. If we hit the crit, the Morbid in this arrangement is just brutal for damage because every little movement adds so much firepower. Yeah, he died to the reflection damage. This does 21 now. It's not even that powerful yet. If we can land a crit, it's just going to annihilate everything. Yeah, that is a 6,000 damage shot. Good game, Peglin. We've unlocked Crucible level 2. So yeah, it's a very... That's weird. I've definitely unlocked this before. They must have changed it when they renamed it so it reappears in the first unlock list. There is... What was I going to show here? Yeah, Crucible. So the Crucible makes the game way harder. We were currently playing on Crucible level 1, and that just means you start with more rocks and they're a little worse. They have less crit damage. But as you go up, you can have more mini-bosses and question mark scenarios, which can actually be good because you can get relics out of them. The next one means you have 1 less crit by default, so instead of having 2, you only have 1. The 4 here is misnavigating hurts you harder. Now there's 1 less refresh. Having 1 less refresh and 1 less crit makes the game a lot more dangerous because, like, there were some of those upgrades we saw previously where there were upgrades that would give you a benefit in exchange for one less of something. Like the morbid thing that we took. I'm dying. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. If we had taken that morbid upgrade with this in play, there would have been no refresh orbs. And that is way more dangerous. 6 is enemies and mini-bosses have more health, so everything's a little bit harder to kill. 7 is you only heal 15% instead of 20% if you pay for healing, which makes it much more expensive. 8 means that you get less gold from everything. 9 means bombs hurt you more. And 10 is bosses are all tougher. 11 also gives you a Terra Ball, which is just an awful additional orb that you have every time. So there are a whole range of things here that make the game way harder, and I haven't even made it into the later stages. I can't check what those do yet because I haven't unlocked them. And exactly pneumatic. Each stage includes all of the previous problems. So like here, we were only playing with an extra pebble and pebbles are a little worse. But now it's pebbles are a little worse and mini bosses can appear. So let's do a quick run here with the Peglin and show you how much more dangerous it is as the Crucible starts leveling up. Because it gets way harder. We have a couple of options here. We have the option for Super Boots. These heal you once for every peg hit while you're navigating afterwards, and you don't take damage if you go in the fire hole. Strange Brew, like we saw before, makes refreshes and crits do more damage, and Refilibuster is a neat one. Whenever the board is refreshed, you deal damage to the enemy you have targeted based on the number of pegs that are restored. This is much better if we can actually land a bunch of refreshes, but won't do anything if we don't. But I think it's probably the best of these 3, so we're going to grab it. The shoes are also good because they give you healing options, so that might have been better for us. But we'll deal with it. So now you can see enemies are going to be a little bit tougher, and they're going to hit a little harder, I believe, too. So we'll see if we can make a run happen here. Yeah, refresh builds are very fun. You can do a lot of really interesting synergy builds if you can get all the right pieces together. Sometimes it can be hard to get exactly the things that you need. This is the Terra Ball, by the way. It's very low damage. It's small enough to get between the cracks of orbs that would normally work perfectly fine. It's just bad. Explicitly a poor choice. That was not where I wanted that to go. One of the problems here is as things start to get out of hand, it becomes quite easy for you to accidentally set yourself up for trouble by misfiring a shot or two and letting enemies like this close in on you. Once they're on top of you, it can be a little bit difficult to do much else. Because you can see here now, our orbs are only 2/3s. All the pebbles kind of suck. This is what we were trying to mitigate with having all those spiness things earlier. So, the run that we saw was a very low challenge run. This one is much more dangerous. So I don't know what we actually want to go for this time. I have a feeling that spiness is probably not going to be our best choice. We have a bunch of other bits and pieces, but we don't really know what we're set up for yet. I'm going to save our money and see if we can get a more interesting orb choice on the next one here, but that might not be a good call. Grab ourselves a relic here to see if we can get a bit more synergy going. We have bouncers contribute to damage, and hitting pegs heals us. This is really good to get early, so I'm going to take the popping corn. We can go and fight this thing, but it might do a lot of damage to us. We're going to go fight a mini-boss here and see what it has. It's early enough that we should be able to recover. Oh, it's this one again. I don't like this one. This is maybe my least favorite of the Tier 1 mini-boss arenas, because all of these outward-facing circle shapes really make it easy for you to get stuck in a position where you can't actually hit any of the things you want to hit. If your only refresh is in a bad spot, for example, oh, you're in trouble. So we're going to go ahead and target this guy now, so that any refreshes that we do hit wind up helping us because we're hitting him with the damage instead of the people in front. And let's see what else we can make happen here. That was a terrible throw. It bounced exactly into the wrong place. There's a nice bit of refresh damage on him. Hit him pretty hard because we cleared out a lot of stuff prior to being able to hit him there. Unfortunately, in so doing, we also covered up that bomb again, so it's going to be hard to hit it. The real problem is that they themselves have a lot of melee damage if they actually get close enough to hit us with it. I think they can... I don't actually remember if they have a ranged attack or not. This is the problem though. See, our only refresh tile is under the corner, and it's going to be very difficult for us to get a shot over to be able to actually refresh the board to be able to do more damage again. So we're trying to tunnel our way over here so we can fire a shot into a space, come on, where it'll stay in this part of the board for a couple of seconds and actually clear out some of this stuff. But every time I fire one, it immediately ricochets straight into the hole. Please, work with me here, game. It refuses. It does not want to hit the refresh. There we go. All right. Now we can actually do some damage because there's enough tiles left on the board to hit things with. So yeah. This is why having only one of those can be quite bad. I have never seen this. Ore Bust. Grants 1 Muss Circle when fired, which makes all of your non-crit damage higher, and grants 2 Bulwark when fired, which is armor. And I've never seen this one either. Activate Orb. The next orb drawn gets +X+Y, where X and Y are this orb's regular and crit damage. Huh. I mean, I'll take this one. Getting some Muss Circle and Bulwark, that sounds pretty good. Some more damage and some more shield could be valuable. It looks like leveling it up really just increases the amount of shield you get, but let's try it. It's interesting, at least. I've never seen it before, so let's give it a shot and see how it goes. We have Grinding Monstera, which is a very useful ability. Whenever you defeat a non-minion enemy, so like something that isn't spawned from another boss, gain 1 max health, so you can get a lot of extra health that way. Duplication Station again to get some more multi-ball, or this one, which sucks. I think we're going to go for the Grinding Monstera. Get some health regen going here. It won't change our individual level health, but it will change our max health to give us more to work with when we if we can manage to clear the first floor. Since we have less money here, we have to be a little bit more careful with what we spend our money on. We can't easily just level up every single orb we find. We can try and grab more of the coins from each stage, but we aren't as guaranteed to get the things that we need to do everything. So, we'll see. And I think I noticed at the bottom there, we have a very scary boss. I'm gonna have to double check. There are a couple of bosses at the end of every stage, so the ones that we've seen already is just one of the different combinations that we can be up against. And there is a slime boss in the first world, which kills me so much of the time. It is so brutal. So, if we have the slime here, we will see how exactly it goes. But I don't know if it was him or the mole or another boss again. Well, we can get more ore busts. There's a bunch of bulwark abilities here, which could be a thing that we try and go for this time. The armor is really nice, and Muss Circle is a not quite as powerful option, because we can't level it up as fast as Spiness, but it works as long as we don't crit. I'm going to go ahead and buy another ore bust, because I've never really done anything much with the armor in this game, and it could be pretty cool to do that. So we'll level up the one we already got and pick up the new one. We're not going to the shop ever, I don't think, so let's just swing down here on the right-hand side. I forgot to check if we're fighting the slime or not at the end, but we can check that again shortly. Heal 1 for every hit while navigating, or refresh the board on every reload. Let's go for the healing. Healing is valuable. It is the slime! So yeah, you'll get to see my nemesis. I've had a lot of runs that have failed because we've had to fight the slime at the end of the first area, and I just don't get strong enough to beat him. Ah, we stumble upon a mysterious altar. We can get rid of one of our pebbles to level up our ore bust. This is actually great. It sinks right in, and our ore bust is now level 2. That is pretty good. So, hopefully we can get rid of our Terror Ball soon. I was hoping it would give us the chance to dump that one. The Terror Ball actually can't be upgraded. It just is permanently locked at level 1. So it's just a junk orb guaranteed. Ooh, Axe Me Anything is very good. Deal full damage to enemies with resistances. Enemies with resistances can take so much less damage from different types of attacks. And shields have resistances too, so this is a very valuable ability for us. We're going to take that one for sure. Let's keep swinging down here on the left-hand side and see what else we can find. Alright, heal 6 when reloading. We have a lot of orbs already, so we're not going to be reloading that often. I think we're going to take Navigation-flation to get more money. Since we have this and Navigation-flation, we can try and get money and not worry about falling in the damage spots. We may take a little bit of misnavigation from trying too hard on that, but I think that's probably better than the alternative. This doesn't count as post-battle, by the way, so we can't get the healing out of these. Alright. Lots of enemies in here. Let's go ahead and go straight to the ore bust, because that'll give us the must circle starting, so we'll start doing more damage on future attacks. It's worth trying to ramp that up quickly if we can. The sooner we get it running, the better. And see here, the bulwark here meant we took no damage from that, so it is pretty helpful having some of these defensive effects on board quickly. Now we are going to start taking a ton of damage if I don't start blowing these guys up, but those 3 bombs should kill the entire board. Yeah, nice. Let's go ahead and max out the second ore bust here, and then we're probably going to try and pick up some money and healing out of this before we leave, because there are a lot of chances here. We went the wrong way, but we'll deal with it. This is much worse than going down a field that's all fights. This is also quite bad. We're going to dash through the flames because we don't want to pick up 2 fireballs. Little singed, as it says, but otherwise unscathed. Can we get anything good here? We have a mini-boss! So, as they were saying, you can get mini-bosses on question mark tiles now, and that is in fact exactly what happened. Now, our only refresh is in this bottom right corner, which can be very bad. We're gonna see if we can make something happen here before we need to start refreshing, but nope, those are some terrible rolls. We just tore apart all of our main path here without actually giving us anything we can use. I'm gonna take one shot at the ricochet here. No, we hit it once, but not enough to actually make something useful out of it. So, we are now in trouble. If we can't hit this refresh, we aren't gonna be able to do much here on the board, so we're gonna have to try and fire some orbs into the corner here to try and clear out the junk that's preventing us from hitting it. That didn't work. We are now trapped in a real bad spot, but we managed to hit the refresh anyway with a lucky ricochet there, so we'll take it. Let's go ahead and try and capitalize on our ore busts here a little bit more. They're doing more damage every time, so this will make it work. I'm glad we managed to make that one land, because this would have been real nasty without being able to hit the refresh on that one. Alright, we actually do not want to crit anymore, because as you can see here, our non-crit damage is actually higher than our crit damage, thanks to these ore busts. So we want to be a little careful with what we aim for, because... oh, that was a terrible throw. Because we can wind up making our own lives worse for ourselves if we're not careful. I'm trying to hit the refresh under here again. There we go, because that'll kill him for us. We gotta be a little careful with our money, because we're starting to take a lot of damage. We can heal ourselves up a little bit here, which we're probably going to do, because any health we can hold on to at the end is going to be important health. And let's roll on. Alchemist's Cookbook means every regular peg has a 7% chance to refresh into a bomb, which can be good, but it also means bombs don't come back, which is not good. Puppet here means that we have that first hit block, and this one I think is actually great. Attacks get an increasing damage multiplier based on the number of pegs that have already been hit. So, if we are unable to refresh the board, this is great. And this also means that any attack that clears a lot of the board does a lot more damage. So we're gonna take the bag of orange pegs. It's just a valuable little ability. Try and get some heals in here and some extra money, because we're gonna need it. And let's roll onwards. Please be another fight. Nice. Not a boss fight, but still a fight, which means we'll be able to try and get some more cash and upgrade some more things before we fight the slime. Alright, let's toss a couple more of these orbs and see what the board does for us. We have a lot of semi-lit bombs. This guy in the back is a problem because we don't actually have a way to target him directly, but if I target him with our targeting reticle, then when we hit the refresh at any point here, it'll probably kill him outright. And the orbs you love or absolutely avoid? Any orbs that I love or avoid? I mean, there are some orbs that I don't know if they're actually any good, but I don't know if there's any that I, like, hate. I'd have to see the whole list, because there are some weird ones that I'm not a fan of. I just can't remember the names of them off the top of my head. There's one that can only hit things when it's moving downwards. Like when it's up, it pierces through everything until it's moving down again. Like there's some ones like that that are really weird and I'm not a fan of. But there's a bunch of ones that have been reworked here since the last time I played it. Like I've never seen this Circe before. It looks like it's just a multi-ball orb, but I don't know if there's more to it than that. No, it's just multi-ball one. It's like daggers, I guess. Interesting. We could take something like that, but the real problem here is that until we have a way to properly mitigate the chance of hitting an exclamation mark, we risk tanking our damage really fast. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to be a good choice for us. Switch games before you could join Pixel? Well, don't worry, you didn't miss too much. Noita was not working well for me. I had some terrible Noita runs. We should buy something here because we might as well. I'll grab this because I haven't seen it before. Having a multi-ball option can be nice. So, let's try it. And we'll go ahead and level it up so it's a little bit less terrible. Terrible Noita runs are the most fun to watch. I don't know if they always are. Sometimes you gotta actually have something of interest happen for it to be a good run, and if you just die immediately in the first area, it's not so exciting. Alright, so this is the slime. This guy will slowly move towards us, and when he gets to us, he absorbs us. And then, until then, all of our orbs start on the left and right, then we start inside, which makes it really hard to get out to any of these refreshes. So what we're gonna try and do here, it's still multi-ball 1, it just does more base damage. So it increased the output of the orb, even though the multi-ball status didn't change. A lot of orbs are like that, where they don't actually necessarily tier up. This is also terrible alignment. Both of our buffing orbs are at the bottom of our bag, which means it's going to be really hard to start using them quickly here, which is what we need to try and capitalize on the damage buff. So we might be in trouble here, because the bosses have a lot of health, and we are not doing a lot of damage. Especially if I aim terribly like that. We're gonna have to go for the refresh here, I think, so that we have a chance to actually do something to them. And we are now inside the boss, so things are going to potentially get pretty nasty here. I actually didn't want to hit that crit, I don't know why I aimed straight for it, but at least now it's not in the same position. I still managed to hit it immediately anyway. Please put the crit outside the circle so I don't immediately hit the crit again. Alright, let's go ahead and refresh here. Thankfully the refresh is still inside the boss, which means we should be okay. I think they must have nerfed his damage. Now the refresh is outside the boss, which is bad. But yeah, they must have nerfed how much damage this guy does, because he used to absolutely kill you in seconds, and now he only does about 8 damage. So I have a feeling they realized that this guy was just unfair. It took him down a notch. Because basically, for a while there, if you got this boss on your tier 1 run with any amount of Crucible, it was basically just like, cool, start again. Start again until you don't have that boss at the end, because you will not be able to kill him. So, I appreciate that it looks like they made it a little bit less absurd. We could go for some more Bucklorb synergy here, more shields. I haven't really done much with shields like I was saying before, so it could be fun to grab some more of them. Bulwark is pretty cool because it stays on you until you take the damage. So let's grab one of these, and I'm going to level up this Circe. I don't know if it's worth leveling it up, it only adds 1 damage to it, but I'm going to level it up anyway, just so I've got one permanently leveled for my reference later. Sealed Conviction is really powerful. All of our attacks get +2/+2, but we have no discards. And discards are really important when you have things like the Terror Ball that you don't want to be using. Spheriday's Fate is very weird. Every time you hit 40 pegs, it summons an additional orb, like a multi-ball. The Matryoshka Shell gives everything multi-ball 1, but all attacks are -2/-2, and the Consuming Chalice is just absolutely not viable, because it would mean there are no refreshes on the board. So we just can't take that without finding something that adds more refreshes to the board first, because there are some perks that do that. So I think Spheriday's Fate is the very, safe pick. It just gives you a little bit of extra orb firepower with not really much of a cost. Matryoshka Shell can be good if we can get enough buffs going to mitigate the fact that it puts our damage to basically 0, but at the start it's going to mean our damage is basically 0, so we can't take it. And Sealed Conviction is very powerful, but it means we're stuck using all of these junk Terra Balls and Pebbles, which is a problem. So I think we're just going to take the safe option for now. Spheriday's Fate is harmless. Harmless at worst, good at best. A lot of chests on the left side of the map there, I just saw. We'll have to take a look at our route here before we move on, but let's fight some mirrors. So these guys all have that reflect effect on them, which means we're going to start taking reflect damage as soon as we start attacking. Very rude of them. We immediately take advantage of our ability to discard orbs, even though that was a pretty weak throw. That little extra red orb that we saw there is the round squirrel that they mentioned. The reflect is in a really awkward place for us to try and, the refresh rather, is in a really awkward place for us to actually hit. So I'm a little worried about not being able to hit this. That might do it. No, that went all the way the wrong way again. Please let us refresh the board. There we go. Every turn that we don't kill them, their reflect damage goes up, which makes it pretty easy to become an issue soon. So we're going to try and just crush our way through these guys now that we have a fully refreshed board, before we wind up in another one of those situations again. The nice thing is they take double damage from regular projectiles like these, so whatever our damage numbers actually say, they do wind up hitting twice as hard. Okay, we have the same choices we're already using. More Orbust or more Bucklorb. Well, Orbust is good because it actually gives us the strength. So I think we're going to take that, because Must Circle is what we're really counting on right now to help us scale up enough to be able to hurt things. So I'm going to go ahead and level that one up as well, and we'll take a look at the map here. Where do we want to go? Looking at this map, we probably go down the left-hand side and then scoot like this. We might even just go straight here and skip this one, because if this is a really nasty question mark, it might force us onto another path and we'd lose those 2 free relics. I don't know if it makes a huge difference if we go left or right here, but we're going to go left. Alright, new enemy that I don't think we saw last time. These little hoppy boxes will basically try and stomp on us. So we're going to try and clear them out before they get too close, because they are able to double attack once they're in range on us. Unfortunately, we're having a hard time keeping a orb in the top half here to start tearing through this whole side, so we may take some damage here shortly. All of the balls keep going straight out the middle. I should probably be trying to go in on the left side, because that's where the refresh is, and that's kind of what we need. I was just trying to think we should go in one of these sides to start doing damage, but that was terrible. Alright. We are going to potentially take a lot of damage here, because it's going to be hard for us to dig out into the spaces with the things that we need. We get some very mean arrangements like this, where we're just going to keep getting slapped in the head. Can we hit the refresh? No, we hit everything other than the refresh. There it is. Okay. There's some damage. 1 or 2 more of those and we should be in the clear here. We want to kind of leave some of this stuff on the board, actually, so we can fight it and get our health back. Instigate Orb is a new one I haven't seen before. After attacking with this orb, the next orb fired will attack all enemies. Interesting. This is really weird, though, because you can't set the order of the orbs in your bag. So having these things that, like, make the next orb do something, the next orb might be junk. I don't know. I don't know if this is actually like a good, logical way of building your deck. We're going to take that or bust again for more must circle. And I think I'm going to level them up evenly this time because the must circle change doesn't actually do anything. It's really just whether or not we fire them at all. Having a little bit more damage on them is nice, but it's not as important. Here we have an apple, which is max health by 15, which is pretty junk. There's the grabby hand, which doesn't matter if we don't have piercing, really. And there's molten gold, which puts more money into the battles. I'm just going to shoot straight down here and see where it goes, because this one's going to be pretty unpredictable. Alright, I'll take the apple. 15 max health's not good, but we'll take it. Where do we go this time? It is completely uncontrollable in that mess, so we're going to the left. I feel like those are moving faster than they normally do. This is an interesting one, because all of these enemies have shields, and then we have ranged enemies who spawn in behind them and are going to give us an absolute nightmare of a time. But if we can crush through them using the bombs that are on the map, we can get through them pretty fast. The problem is, with these expanding auras around them, it's easy to do that and not actually hit what you're aiming for. So, we'll have to see if we can make anything happen here. Our only refresh is on the tail end of one of these disappearing wings, so it can be pretty easy to miss that too, so we'll have to be careful here. Already off to a not wonderful start. If we switch this one around again, we discard here, we can get to the ore bust. My timing is so bad today. Just missing all of these shots into the middle here. I'm trying to hit the bombs, because if we can start clearing some of these guys out, it also damages their shields at the same time, and then we can go for the refresh after that. But we've got to actually hit the things I'm aiming for that to be relevant. Because now we broke down the shield there. One guy has a shield left, but one more bomb can take care of that. We're probably going to need to hit this. Yes, there we go. Now we can pop a refresh here to do a bit of extra damage too, and he should go down. The nice thing is, our max health does go up pretty healthily when we have all these minions and monsters to fight, so things where we have a lot of enemies are actually good for us if we can handle them, because every one killed gives us some extra future health, but we have to actually live through the fights for that to be relevant. So far so good. This build seems like it's working. I've never seen this one either. Chemiball Hazard. Applies poison slime to every 7 orbs hit. Targeted enemy takes 10 damage for every active poison-slimed peg on the board after enemies move. Huh. I have never seen that before. I don't think it really synergizes great with everything else that we've got going, but it's interesting. I want to upgrade these, because I think what we're trying to do is get some combination that's going to give us some more shields. The Angry Tomahawk, base damage increases the lower your health is, the damage multiplier increases at higher orb levels. We have a lot of health here, so I think this is actually going to be less likely to work until we are much closer to death than normal. So let's just go ahead and leave those alone. We'll keep the money we have in case we find something we need to use it for later. There's always a chance that these question mark tiles are shops, so we want to try and keep at least 50 money if we can. This is a pretty good arrangement. We got a bunch of our big muscle boosters at the top of the board instead of at the bottom. Not bad. Now, unfortunately, our only refresh is sitting over there on the left-hand side of the field, so let's try and bounce an orb outside the box. That was a terrible shot. I hit the ceiling. Bounce an orb outside the box so we can actually try and do something with this. There we go, we hit the refresh. There we go. That gives us a little bit more to work with. And this one's inside the space, so we can do more with it. Unfortunately, the empty spaces at the bottom here stay empty once you blow the bombs up, so It's easy to wind up in a situation in some of these where you have a very fast emptying target. If we can hit some of these bombs, though, we'll be in a good spot to kill these guys, but we can't seem to make it happen. We just keep missing the actual bomb tiles. I didn't mean to fire that. I probably should have swapped that one in the first place, because the terror ball does suck, but it worked out. Such incredible job at missing every bomb. That's fine. If we can get over here, nope. The refresh is currently covered in armor, which is not working out for us. One more shot at it. There we go. That gets the refresh. That gives us a little bit more survival and lets us fight these guys properly. It's crazy. The Dagorb has the same base and crit damage now because we've hit so many of these ore busts. That's what we're building for, so I'm glad it worked, but it's still crazy that it got there in the end. Okay, none of these synergize with the stuff that we have, so I'm just going to upgrade our existing orbs. This is a good one to upgrade now because every time we level it up, it actually gives us armor more often. So let's go ahead and do that. And keep rolling. Now, there's no reason not to aim for some extra healing on these where there's only one path, because even if you misnavigate, you're not really misnavigating, you're just going to the only place that there is. Looks like we're fighting the wizard again for this one though, so hopefully we can land some good hits. Most of our ore busts are a little further down in the list than I would normally like, but hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of them going here so we can ramp our damage up before they out-armor us. We shall see, though. We want to avoid hitting those exclamation marks, thank you, game. For this, it's about the same still, but soon that will be an explicit downgrade for us. That is incredible, missing the refresh there. As you can see, their armor is starting to get real high. He's up to 18 at the start of the round. If we can't ramp up fast here, he's going to be very hard to actually hurt. This is also a tricky board to do a lot of damage on because these little shapes tend to still funnel your orbs out. They're not exactly conducive to ramping up a lot of damage in a single shot by ricocheting around for a long time. And I believe every turn he actually adds another armor shield to one of these tiles, so it becomes harder to hit tiles the longer we're fighting him, which is nasty because he is already up to 72 armor. So we are starting to lose out to his scaling. If we don't kill him fast, we are not going to be able to. He's up to 48 this turn. Let's see if we can maybe kill him before he can keep scaling any faster. 29. He's up to 51 damage now, which is so many. But this should take him out, as long as we don't accidentally hit that crit. No, we're good. Okay. We have a boulder, we have a fireball, we have a Restorb, which can heal you, but is otherwise not great, and a dagger. We don't need any of those, so let's go ahead and upgrade our Bucklorb one more time. The Mask of Joy. When adding positive status effects to yourself, increase the amount applied by 1. That's incredible. That doubles the rate at which we get Must Circle. And it means we get extra armor. Every 11 hit has a positive random slime applied. I don't know what that means, but we're taking the Mask of Joy. This is perfect for what we've been building. Let's go. Hard to say no when they give us something so optimal for what we need. This will probably be a slightly annoying fight, but at least we'll be gaining our status buffs twice as fast. Since we can't attack through these big weather vane fellas, we have no choice but to just try and beat them up. You may also ask, like, why don't we target one of these guys? You actually can't. While there is one of these weather vanes, they force your targeting to target them at all times. So you have to kill both of them in order to be able to target anything other than the big fellas in front of you. Let's go ahead and put some that was a terrible shot with the buck lorb. I was about to say put some armor on us, but that is not how it played out. What we really need to do now is hit that refresh. Until we do, there are very few things left for us to aim at. There we go. Once we do kill the last of these 2 archers, this is basically a free battle, because these little guys can't actually do anything to us. But this doesn't attack. So, at that point, it's just a matter of cleanup. But until we get there, we are still taking damage, or at least a risk of taking damage, so let's wipe him out and then go from there. Done. We could take another bucklorb here. Bucklorbs wouldn't be terrible. The only problem with taking them now is that every orb we add reduces the likelihood that we're hitting our orb busts, and those are kind of more important. If we can get rid of the Terror Ball, get rid of some of this other stuff, that would be good, but as it stands, adding more orbs into our library still reduces the chance that we're hitting the key pieces, which are these must circle boosters. So, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this one more time. We're going to take a heal here, because our health is getting a little low as we're getting closer to the bottom, and we're just going to move on. Just to play it safe, I'm going to aim for the left-hand side directly. What do we have in here? The Augur? I don't know how to pronounce that. Each crit triggered for projectile attacks causes them to pierce an additional enemy. That would be really cool. Gold Augur, maybe? It's a gold digger. That's probably the joke going on here. Or Hero's Backpack. Orbs receive +1/+2 for every following connected orb of the same type. Well, normally I would say that the Augur here is a better item, but we actually don't want crits. So I'm going to take the Hero's Backpack, even though it's less likely to give us much. And let's swing down the left-hand side. 2 more perks before we go fight a boss. Could work out for us. Oh, this is a nasty one. You just barely notice an elongated figure lurking in the shadows. You hear an oddly alluring voice in your head. Do you crave power, little Peglin? Would you like to make a deal? We can reduce our max health by half and get a special relic, or we can run away. I don't remember what the relic does. We have a way to increase our max health. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, just for fun. Steal 1 health from the selected enemy for every 5 targets hit. I actually don't think I've seen this one. The Infernal Ingot is now ours. You feel a low chuckle as a long arm emerges from the shadows to hand you an unpolished gem. Stars dance on the edge of your vision as lightheadedness hits you suddenly, but you do feel an incredible new power. And a new hunger. Alright. What do we have in here? We have the Essential Oil. Whenever Bulwark is gained, increase the amount gained by 1. Well, we do have a bunch of things that add this, so this is probably pretty good. Or the Refreshive. Whenever an enemy is defeated, refresh the board. Let's take the oil here. In this one, we have Orbert's Story. Question mark nodes have a 7% higher chance to be a treasure node, and treasure node has a 7% chance to be rare. That's new. They added the second sentence to that relic, because that wasn't there before. And Rallying Heart. Post-battle healing is increased by 1% for every orb in your deck. We have a lot of orbs in the deck, so that's not terrible. It's giving 26% healing instead of 15. I think I'm going to take this, though. Alright, this fight is very different than most of the other ones we've done so far. If the face gets to us, we die. That is the short version. So we're needing to try and get to these damage buffs quickly so that we can start ramping up. So we're just going to immediately roll into a new item because we need to kill this boss at speed. He's going to start by eating this knight. And then we're going to go from there. I missed the refresh with a shot that was literally intended only to hit the refresh. That's not good. Let's go ahead and fire over on this side then, I guess. Never mind, it's going straight down the hole. This is bad. We need to start doing damage to this guy fast. He has a lot of health, and he is very dangerous, and if we cannot get around missing this refresh, we are going to lose the game very quickly. There's the refresh, okay. Because we need to start pumping out damage on this attack, otherwise we are going to be in trouble very fast. So we wasted a couple of rounds there where we could have been hitting things. Now, most of those aren't so important because the knights were blocking him anyway. So it's not like we were going to be doing a ton of damage there and instead did none, but it did slow down our ability to start pumping things up here. So we're gonna potentially have a bit of trouble with that refresh there later, but we're gonna go on the right-hand side because there's a bunch of bombs over here we haven't triggered yet, so that can help boost our damage too. The bulwark, unfortunately, does nothing for us in this fight. That was an incredibly weird bounce, but what can you do? We are going to be hoping on our reflex and multi-balls to try and make our damage faster here, but I am not confident we're going to be able to kill this guy at the pace we're currently going. That was a terrible shot. We are like maybe 5-6 turns away from death. We missed the refresh again, which is awful. It's in the worst possible place because I can't actually aim directly at it. There we go, we got one, that's good. Let's keep bouncing things away from exactly where we want them to be. We are going to be in danger. We're starting to do good damage though, because we're starting to ramp up these ore busts, which is nice. But we are in the scary zone. We just have to make sure we do not hit these crits, because hitting a crit now will be very bad. I think we are 1 or 2 shots away from death. We can siphon health out of him, but it won't matter because he doesn't actually damage you. He just kills you instantly. Yeah, I think if I re-roll this, we just die. I don't think we can do 1,741 damage in one shot. Especially not with a Terror Ball. And the refresh is buried too, so we can't even get into it. Well, let's try. Nope, that was a terrible shot. And we're dead. Game over. As you can see, the game gets pretty hard. Having the extra health on that guy adds so much damage to him that it becomes really difficult to make things work long term. So, not our finest hour of battling there with a flubbed Terror Ball shot at the end, but that is why I haven't beaten 11 Crucible yet. It gets pretty hard as you keep ramping this up. So, yeah. Anyway, this was fun. I am getting a little tired though. I need to go eat something. I haven't eaten anything since breakfast and it's already 4 o'clock, so I need to go eat some lunch. Thanks for coming out and watching, folks. I had a good time messing around here in Noita and Peglin with you. Next time we stream, I think we're gonna play a new game. I'm tempted to check out a couple of things that I haven't tried before. Maybe La Mulana will be next. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm curious about that game. I've been holding on to it for a long time without actually playing it. So we will see. But thanks for coming out and watching. It's been a blast messing around here with these games with you. And I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.